Welcome, level uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 122. I'm so distracted right now. First of all, why is Greg like all...
You're so far away.
And he's not 16 by 9 is the big problem.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's all make fun of me.
Rude.
Also,
maybe that'll help. Let's try that out.
And you're also
That's better. You're filling it out now. We're good.
Thank you.
Welcome, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 122. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori. I'm joined tonight by the classy douchebag, Mike McLaughlin.
That's me.
Got the beast from the East, Dean Marchese.
One and only.
Thank you.
Did you say one and only?
Yep.
That's good. I like that.
Thanks.
And, of course, we have Gregor Verga, a.k.a. GVZ, on the line.
Yo, it's your boy, J-Face.
Okay. Thank you for that. Are
Joe.
you drunk, Greg?
Okay. Number one, that's rude. Number two, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Three.
Happy birthday to you, man, because it's actually more like your birthday than it is mine.
It's been his birthday for a week and a half, judging by
Guys,
everything he's doing.
I've been drunk every day since I turned 22, number one. Number two, love both of you. I love all the shirts that everyone's wearing currently.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
You got this one for me.
Oh my god, I wondered why I liked it so much.
You're an idiot.
I don't even like Call of Duty. More like Call of Poopy.
All right.
Okay, so we're getting an echo according to everybody here.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Is there a stream playing? Another stream playing? Okay, maybe it's just a normal echo that Greg has that he probably doesn't realize Greg has.
Yeah.
Greg always has an echo because he's coming through the video on our end here. So sorry about that. You're going to have a little bit of echo on Greg's end, always.
You guys were so amazing.
Okay, maybe it's just a normal echo that Greg has.
Yeah,
there's
and
that's
you're
the
going to
normal...
hear an echo now because that came through the mics, but no, there's no...
Yeah,
Yes.
you should be good.
There's no echo.
Getting very
Meta
inception
echo.
here. So guys, if you don't know, we're on all week long with gaming talk shows and game streams. So hit that heart button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. We will shout you out. And of course, that means you'll get notifications whenever we go live. Follow us on Twitter at The Level Up Network. Level spelled LVL. Keep track of everything we're doing. Subscribe to our YouTube. It's a pretty fresh YouTube. We started about a month and a half ago from scratch. So we need you guys to go to youtube.com/Level Up Network. Hit that sub button and check out exclusive YouTube shows that we do, like Power Up. That is Dean and Greg's comic book superhero nerdiness show.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you. There's a huge delay on your
There's
end.
a big delay, yeah.
I'm not sure why there's such a delay on your video, but
Honestly,
we'll
I feel like I just fucked up this show. Number one. Number two, yes, we are paying the man that is my body. We're paying him to sit there as my body double.
Are you going to stay here the entire night?
And don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just
okay.
You're just a body.
Otherwise, guys, we had a few donations during our earlier part of the stream. Thank you to Tobes for his $25 donation and Dan Henry for his $10 donation, bringing us up to $1,135 out of $1,500. We're trying to get to a new desktop computer to improve the quality of all of our shows. So if you'd like to donate, you can just go to the link provided in the chat throughout the night, and of course, we'll give you XP and a shout out and all that good stuff.
Give us all your money.
How's everybody doing tonight? We've been together the whole time. So, Greg, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty drunk.
Are you actually drunk or are you just saying it?
No,
Are you at
I'm
work?
drunk. I'm pretty drunk. Yeah, I had work before, and then my friends picked me up. We went to the beach, and we drank some Bud Light Platinums. We had a couple shots. We went back to my friend's house, had some wine, and then I was like, wait a second. There's a stream that I do, and then I came here.
I don't think you're drunk. I'm calling bullshit.
You stuffed a whole lot of drinking in 2 hours.
Yeah, I think you're full of shit. I'm calling it.
Okay.
All right, I'm glad we agree on
You
that.
can think what you want, rude.
Well, Vantera says he speaks the truth. I saw the Snapchat story. So there you go.
So,
How was
that's
your
true.
new job?
Oh my god, guys, I work at Michael Kors now.
How's that
literally
going
walked
for you?
Look, I literally walk into the place. She goes, do you have any retail experience at all? I said, no, I worked at a restaurant for 5 years. She said, oh. Then I literally go, yeah. She goes, oh, tell me more about yourself. I said, well, I was a C-section. She starts dying laughing.
Every
She's
time.
like-
Yeah, always.
she goes, literally, Greg, she goes, you normally meet the store manager, but she's like, you're hysterical. And she's like, I just want to see how you do. So we're putting you on the floor tomorrow. I'll come back at 3. I said, okay. I'm now in the Michael Kors system. My
So
ID
how
number
was
is
the job?
0543.
What's the question?
Wait, what happened?
How was the job? How did you like the job today?
Oh my god, it was so much fun. You get to
that's
dress
awesome.
up fancy as shit. I wore a purple tie. I I looked good today, if I'm being honest. And then yeah, I sold 3 bags and 2 watches.
I feel like I want to beat you up right now. I don't know why. I have no real reason. I just feel it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing you're doing.
I can back that.
And I finished the bag of chips.
I'm proud of you.
Good for you, man.
Thank you.
All right, then. I don't think we need to introduce ourselves. We've been here for the last 3 hours. So let's get into the official non-gaming portion of the show. It's called The Level Up Show Has No Game, and it's 3 non-gaming topics at 2 minutes each. Are we ready?
Born ready.
Do it.
Awesome. First
We'll
up. So, Margot Robbie. We like her. We like her a lot.
I like
Yes!
And she looks like she's going to be awesome as Harley Quinn, which makes this news even better.
What is this news?
We're going to get a solo Harley Quinn film.
Yeah, I heard
Cool.
about
Shut your mouth.
Did you not know this, Greg?
No, we talked about
Please.
Empire.
Okay, I was going to say, there's no way you didn't know about this. This is superhero news. You better know about it. Greg, how do you feel about Margot Robbie getting her own standalone film?
Drew, you want to know how I feel about it?
I do. I
think
just
it's-
asked you.
I think it's really fucking awesome because Margot Robbie, number one, is the person who put together the movie. She advocated the role of the film. Not only did she do that, Drew, but we're getting my favorite superhero heroine character in the film as well. She's centering the whole movie around a whole bunch of strong females in the DC universe, and we're finally getting Batgirl as a superhero, and she's going to be up against Harley Quinn with the Birds of Prey.
That's a
which is fun.
rumor, by the way.
Wait, no, is that going to be played
It's
by,
happening.
what's her name, Jenna Malone?
We don't know.
It's all a rumor.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Harley Quinn movie, solo Harley Quinn movie, is a fact.
Yeah.
The rumor is that it's going to be involved around the Birds of Prey, which
Which
is a
means
whole
that.
bunch of female DC.
Now, has there
characters.
ever been, like, comics where Harley Quinn is just a straightforward hero? Or is she always, like...
No, she's going to be the bad guy in the movie, too.
Oh, she's going to be a bad
It's
guy?
going to be from the
Yeah.
villain's perspective, which is cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be... Like, we don't usually see... Like, you have, like,
I've never
Maleficent
seen-
and
I've never
stuff.
seen that, yeah.
But there's always, like, that redemption at the end.
Right.
Do you think, like, we get that? Or is it just, like, she's a villain?
I mean, it's Hollywood.
You know what? She gets
Yes. Sure.
kind of good at the end of, like,
Yeah.
certain runs,
Yeah.
but never, like, full-on hero. She's always kind of
Right.
a pain in the ass.
There's
I feel
a
like
redemption.
The best part about Harley Quinn is like she's such a lovable villain that even if she does do crazy shit, like you still root for her.
Yeah.
Right, like you can tell that she's damaged.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
and
she's
she shows it, and
fucked
she shows
up.
that humanity side that she still kind of has, but at the same time she's so warped
She's
that
so
there's no going
sweet,
back.
though. She's, like, so
Right.
so likable, so...
Right.
She's like the baby Jesus if the baby Jesus murdered
Why?
people instead of being born.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yep. Time's up. Time's up. Moving on from that, there is a confirmation. Daniel Craig is reportedly done with James Bond.
Yeah, I'm
I don't know why you're
okay with
clapping,
this.
and here's why I say that. James Bond is one of my favorite series of all time. This is like a movie I grew up
I'm
on. We've
sick
talked
of
about
that.
multiple times before.
Yeah.
I get that. It's more so I hated that this is his way out, even though it was good.
And the last movie sucked, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
So it's tough.
I fell asleep during in that theater. It
I mean,
was pretty
I
bad.
thought it was really bad.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't their best at all, and I will
It was
definitely
some
agree to
weak-ass
that. I don't
sauce.
think it's as awful as a lot of people
Hey,
say.
he
Like
showed
there are a
his-
lot of.
He showed his
other-
age in that movie. That scene where he was seducing like that young girl, I was like,
It was
did
a little
not buy that
awkward.
at
Yep.
all.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
he
a little
hasn't
awkward.
It felt
aged
like
very
an-
well.
It
No.
felt like an
No.
old man getting
Yeah.
with this young chick, and it was not believable.
Like, I remember
just-
when they introduced him 10 years ago for Casino Royale, and he was kind of like the most pretty boy, California-looking Bond we've ever seen, and now I look at him, and he's just like, he's freaking wrinkly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's really aged a
But
lot.
you know what? But he's out of everybody. Like he is up there to me with.
He's freaking wrinkly.
It's true. He is.
I think Skyfall and I think Casino Royale are two of the greatest Bonds ever made.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that last
100%.
movie fucking sucked.
And Quantum of
But-
Solace
yeah.
was a very good
Yeah,
movie.
Quantum of Solace was okay.
You notice that? That's what happened. Is you had one good movie, then you had a bad movie, then you had a good movie. Then you
Yeah.
had a bad
He's like the
movie.
Nintendo
What was the-
console of
What was
James
the last
Bond.
Bond movie?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is, like, when you look at
What was it called, the last Bond movie Greg asked?
Spectre.
That's Spectre, Greg.
Oh, I
Skyfall
never
was
saw
before that.
one.
Yeah, but
But
then when
it-
you look at like Pierce Brosnan, he didn't have really like one except Goldeneye. That was like his
Right.
only
Yeah.
good.
That was the only good
You know
one.
what? You
Yeah.
know what I saw in comic book movie today, which was pretty wild. Was they're talking? I mean, it's once again the kind of the rumor mill kind of crap going on here. But you know how they were talking about a black Bond possibility. Now they're talking about a possible female Bond possibility.
No.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with
Jane
Idris Elba.
Bond.
Real quick, we got
yeah.
5 seconds. Who's your pick for James Bond?
Idris Elba.
Gee.
Idris
Yes.
Elba. Greg, who you?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Unknown.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's a good
I
player.
would
want
be okay
an
with
unknown.
Idris Elba, and I'd be okay with the guy who plays Loki too.
Yeah,
Oh,
nah.
yeah, I could get down with him.
All right.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Last but not least, Star Wars
Awesome.
Episode 8 working title has been leaked. Do you guys know what it is?
No, what is it?
It's called Fall of the Resistance.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Now, there's been a lot of leaked information that I haven't looked into myself, but all I'm hearing is that Luke Skywalker is going to be badass
That's
in this
awesome.
movie. That's all I'm hearing. I'm not going to look into it any further
Yeah.
than that.
Right.
But how do you feel
Sounds
about
great.
Fall of the Resistance? It fits with like the second.
I like
in the
that.
They could have
trilogy.
called this Star Wars pile of shit, and I'd be like, great! Can't wait!
Greg, what were you going to say?
I'm just like a Star Wars pile of shit. You're crazy.
What
It
about
doesn't
4
take much,
tickets?
man.
I can't deal with this right now. I was gonna say I like the title a lot. I'm very intrigued to see if like the side films at any point will like correlate with the current timeline rather than just be like prequels and stuff. Because I think Rogue One looks really interesting.
Are any of you concerned that it's just going to be too much of a rehash of Empire Strikes Back?
No.
No, in fact, I think just the opposite. I think they did The Force Awakens to like refresh everyone's palate, get rid of everyone's concerns, give them a taste of nostalgia, and I think for the following trilogy, I think they're going to start breaking off into their own thing.
I agree with you, Dean. I feel like it was like the perfect blend of a bunch of different things, and the nostalgia factor was necessary, and I felt like it wasn't overblown like a lot of people talk about.
Yeah,
how, like,
I don't think it was overblown myself.
No, me either.
It was perfect.
I think we'll see.
I feel like The
we'll
Force
start to see
Awakens
some
was a
different
good
stuff.
piece of raspberry sorbet.
But I do agree that this one needs to go in a completely different direction. From, it needs to not be anything like Empire. It needs to establish itself.
Well, we're also hearing that Poe is going to have a much bigger part in this.
Which is awesome.
I'm down with that. Yeah.
John Boyega commented saying it's a lot darker than the first film, which we all kind of
I'm
expect,
down with
right?
that too.
Interesting about that though is Poe was supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
He
Right.
was written off in the original script, and then they were like,
Yes, he was.
we can make that work.
He's the Han Solo of this series, in my opinion. That's what he feels like to me.
Yeah,
I want him
100%.
to fill
like
that
him.
role.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, outside of the whole Luke
Let's
training,
hope he doesn't hook up with
Rey
Rey.
stuff, like it needs to be completely different than.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with Luke training Rey. That
Yeah,
makes
I'm okay with
sense.
that.
Like,
Yeah, that makes.
I know it's very
I
Empire
wanted
Strikes
to know.
Back,
I'm hoping we get more on Snoke.
we will.
Yeah, we do.
Definitely.
Question,
Cool.
gentlemen.
Without a
Question: Are
Go
you
ahead, Greg.
okay with Rey either hooking up with Finn and or Poe? Because I'm not with either.
I don't want her to have a love interest at all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I totally
Thank
agree
you.
with that.
Me
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, I think she's definitely strong enough, and they should show that she's strong enough to just stand on her own.
I feel like the first film did establish, though, that I don't think Finn is the love interest. If there is one, Finn is
No,
more
they're
like
like
the
friends.
brother friend.
I agree.
Maybe
with that
Poe
as
could
well.
be a love interest, but I don't think
Doubt
Finn
it.
should be the love
I
interest.
feel like there will be a love story.
Not
Maybe
necessarily.
at some point.
Not necessarily.
Maybe
I
not.
bet you there will, but I don't think it will be with her. Is what I'm saying. There will be with somebody else. You will
Right.
see that.
That's
develop.
fine.
I'm
I
thinking
hope
like maybe
Maz
Finn will
Kanata
find
shacks
somebody
up.
else. Maybe Ray won't like. I don't know, but
Maz
there-
and Chewie.
Yeah.
Maz and
Perfect.
Chewie.
That would be awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
I
what
like that
want.
Wookiee. That is a good line. What did I say? Outlanders? Outlander
Yeah.
says, how's the wife? I guess you had the baby. We did have the baby. Everything is going great. Kristen is great. The baby is great. We showed her off earlier in the night for the first time to you guys. Yeah, everything's great. Thank you for asking.
Great. Everybody's great.
All right, let's move on to community question of the week. Go ahead, Dean.
Our community question of the week is, of course, on our PlayStation 4 community. If you want to be a part of it, look us up, join it. We're going to ask you guys a question, and we'll pick some of our favorite responses, as we do every week. This week, the question was, what is the most broken game you've ever had the misfortune of playing? What were the problems that you faced? And we've chosen 4 responses.
This is very much inspired by a certain event that happened recently. But go ahead.
What?
No, home
Front.
I'll talk about it
The
a little
Home
bit.
Front stream.
So here
God.
are the responses we chose. Chaos Miss responded with, when games were on cassette tapes and praying they would work after the extremely long wait after first pressing play. I hated when they didn't work.
I can't speak to that.
Me neither.
Cassette tape.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was ever cassette tapes.
Well,
I knew
were-
there was like floppy disks and there was
Yeah.
like the weird cards and stuff, but
Maybe he means like the
Cartridges?
the old
maybe cartridges, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
There are rumors that carts are coming back.
Yeah,
Cards
for Nintendo.
Yeah.
are great for load times,
Right.
Right.
But you can't put a lot of information on them.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Not. I mean, that said, we're also getting to a point in technology where we have 128 gigabyte flash drives for
Right.
Yeah.
$30.
It's true.
You know what I mean? So we're getting to that.
That's
point
what I
where
think
they
they would
come
be
back.
more in the vein of if it happened. I think it
Right.
wouldn't be carts as we think. I think it would be more like flash drives.
right.
Yeah.
That said, I like Blu-rays.
I like how they poked fun.
Blu-rays are fine.
Spoiler alert for Uncharted 4, but at the very beginning when you play a certain game,
Yeah.
and it's taking forever to load, and Nate's like, why does this take so long? Right? I like that little jab at the PlayStation.
Our second response was from V9 Fox, who responded with Homefront: The Revolution, aka a hot piece of street trash with its very choppy frame rate, hard AI, and predictable storyline. I was very fortunate to have returned it to a GameStop for Valkyrie Chronicles.
Yeah, which was a great game.
I struggled with that one.
Yeah, but yeah, that was exactly Homefront was the game that Mike streamed.
Okay,
and it's a disastrous
a
game. I watched your archive of it, and I was like, holy shit, this is bad,
dude. Right?
It's really bad.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna put it up on YouTube because it's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. The Chris MX responded with Skyrim for PS3.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I used to call when Skyrim first came out Skyrim. I don't know why. It's just
wow.
Way to go.
Skyrim for PS3 story-based missions would not trigger /advance. Granted, it was patched, but required me to start a new game. Will now avoid... Greg, move your name out of our outline. Will now avoid console ports of Elder Scrolls or any Bethesda game.
Yeah, we all know Bethesda has a history of glitchy, buggy games, but Skyrim is the pinnacle of
and
that.
Sucks because it was one of my favorites, and you didn't even get to...
I considered it. I bought it for Anthony. He played like an hour of it.
I think I remember it being even.
I remember
the bit that I played of it being glitchy.
Well, that's.
I remember you getting really pissed off about all the fucking herbs and potions, and you were like, "Fuck this! I don't want to collect flowers for an hour."
The problem with Skyrim is that the further you got into it, the bigger your save file got, the more broken the game became. So you saw nothing in comparison to what it would have been like 10, 20, 30 hours in.
Yeah, I probably dodged.
God, you're the worst, Greg. Stop.
And our final response is from Flamesuit Earth. He responded with, I've done pretty well at avoiding broken games, but I did have the unfortunate privilege of watching Mike play Homefront.
I'm the same way. I've been pretty lucky with avoiding broken games.
Yeah, I don't really know that I've experienced too many myself.
Uncharted 4 broke for me a bit.
Did it really?
What part?
Yeah.
Well, spoilers, I guess.
Well, spoilers, when you find a certain place with your brother Sam.
Okay.
There was a ledge.
Well, that's a complex area.
It is, yeah.
There was a ledge, and I kept falling through it. I had to restart my whole system.
I'll tell you what, I had a couple, I mean, it's nowhere near broken, but I had some choppy frame rates once in a while.
Especially at the end there. Yeah. That's the thing, is when they first walk to see that like vista, like what that area looks like, I remember seeing it in the trailer, and I was like, this is like artwork, like Skybox almost, or whatever. Right. And then you see it, and you start walking into it, and you're like, holy shit, like, this is real. Like, this is, like, not artwork. I thought it was artwork. Yeah. It looks like a painting.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
it's that good. But yeah, it got a little choppy here and there. Not to the point where it, like, was a detriment to the gameplay or anything like that.
Not where it was Homefront.
Not even close. Never froze or anything like that.
That was so bad.
A game that would freeze for me a lot recently, speaking of Uncharted, was the Nathan Drake collection. Anytime I left the online functionality turned on where it would match your statistics with friends, the game would crash every single time.
See, mine, I always left it on, and it was fine.
Crashed every single time.
Huh, that's interesting.
I thought that was
like a big thing that was pushing me through. I was like, ooh, I get to beat this person's score and beat this person's score. And yeah. I
would have liked to have it turned on, but it was disastrous. I thought that was really, really annoying. Couldn't believe they didn't patch it either, because by the time I played it, it was long after the game had come out. Greg gave it to me months later. So how did they not fix that already in a patch? That was very surprising.
What did I do?
You fixed it.
You gifted me the Nathan Drake collection, and it was still broken months after release.
Sorry, I thought you were saying I broke the game. I'm like,
no, you did not break the game.
I didn't have any kind of problem.
No.
Yeah,
I guess it's me. Maybe it's my PlayStation.
I was gonna say, I feel like it might be an isolation.
No, it's not my PlayStation, because they did it on both of my PlayStations.
Really?
Yeah.
I played through all of 1 and 2 and never had a problem. Yeah. The only one I didn't play was 3.
Son of a bitch.
I played in the little bits I played on 3. I was actually looking at scores. I was like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank you to all the responses, guys. Don't forget to follow us on our PS4 community. We're very close to 1,000 members. So all you gotta do is search it in the PS4 community area, the Level Up Network. Follow us, and we will do a question of the week every single week.
Yeah, we were a little late this week, so guys, make sure you get in there and get on it. I mean, we don't always update it Mondays. We're getting kind of slacking with that. So
usually we're around Tuesdays.
But usually look by Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll have it in there, and we'll read your question off.
We're not lacking, though, because we've never done Mondays.
Right.
We've always done Tuesdays.
Done a couple times. But...
Maybe a couple times, but mostly we do Tuesdays. All right, let's see. Let's go to a commercial break, guys, and we'll come back with the level update. Hold on tight, Guitar Freak. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 122. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show at twitch.tv/the Level Up Show. We will shout you out, and of course, you'll get notifications whenever we go live. And also, follow us on all the other channels that you'll be seeing throughout the stream. We're about to move on to the Level Update. This is our weekly discussion of the week's biggest gaming industry news.
None of them sang. Yeah.
Thank you. First up, IGN has acquired game trailers and will archive all of their content.
Pretty cool.
Polygon writes, the game trailers website is gone forever, but its name and videos will live on. IGN has acquired the rights to the game trailers name and content library and will keep the site's content available on YouTube. Game Trailers co-founder Brandon Jones announced today. Defy Media, which acquired Game Trailers in mid-2014, shut down their nearly 14-year-old site this past February. The company laid off Game Trailers' entire staff, and the website and its YouTube channel stopped updating. Prior to today, the last Game Trailers video on YouTube was dated February 8th. Quote, as of today, our longtime friends at IGN have picked up all the assets from Game Trailers, said Jones in a video, which you can watch. Although GameTrailers.com is shutting down, IGN is committed to archiving GT's massive library. That means all their countdowns, retrospectives, reviews, and original shows won't just disappear. IGN has already begun uploading videos from their Game Trailers archive, starting with series such as Retrospective and Backtrack to Game Trailers YouTube channel, which still has more than 500,000 subscribers. A note on the channel says that IGN will complete the archival process next month. The Game Trailers channel won't just serve as a library for old Game Trailers content, however. IGN will keep the channel alive, publishing the latest video game trailers and maybe more, according to Jones. And of course, the video on the screen right now is the Patreon video for Easy Allies. This is where all of the Game Trailers guys went after they had been laid off. It's cool that we still have those guys around, because those guys are really, really funny, especially Kyle Bossman, who does Bossman at Home, which is also really good. You guys should check that out.
I just recently started checking out their YouTube channel. Some good stuff.
Yeah. They're obviously just starting. Everything's a little low budget.
I like their podcasts. They're good, though.
Yeah, they're good. They know what they're talking about. They're funny.
They've been doing it. I mean, they've been doing it forever. So
Sure.
Yeah. And we had a question for you guys. Which of the game trailer segments was your favorite show/feature? Is it the retrospectives, the pop fiction, game reviews, or the trailer reviews that they did as well? My favorite was the retrospectives. They did one specifically on Final Fantasy that was really, really well done. It was like a 13-part series. It probably spans about an hour and a half. It's almost like a making of or like a history of Final Fantasy, and it's really, really
I never watched too much of their stuff. I watch more now that they've closed down than ever when they were open. Just because I've been checking out what they've been up to since they left there. Just try to like show them some support.
Was the poll posted in the chat?
I don't know.
It doesn't look like it. Either Dean or Greg, one of you guys, could you post that in the chat?
Slacker.
On it.
Okay, Greg's got it.
Sorry, I was tweeting the video, making sure it went out that nobody else sang in, you dirty bastard.
It's okay.
I dance.
I wasn't upset. It's okay. Go ahead, Mike, you're up.
Absolutely. Gran Turismo Sport is coming this year. PS Blog writes, GT fans, the movie you've been waiting for has finally arrived. Following the exclusive event in London today, CEO of Polyphony Digital, Kazunori Yamauchi.
God bless you.
Yamauchi.
That's
it's
racist.
Yamauchi, okay. Officially announced Gran Turismo Sport on PS4 will be released on November 15th of 2016. GT Sport is the world's first racing experience to be built from the ground up to bring global online competition sanctioned the highest governing body of international motorsports, the FIA, Federation International Automobile. That was terrible.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Create your legacy as you represent and compete for your home country or favorite manufacturer through multiple race classes, including GT3, Prototype, Rally, and more. And additionally, we're excited to announce the pre-order offerings for GT Sport are available today. Those who pre-order the game will receive early access to a 3-car pack, including 4 Mustang Group B rally car, a Toyota FT1 Vision GT Group 3, or a...
You can do it.
Here's how I want to read this right now. Or a Pidgeot 908 HDI FAP LMPI.
It's a Pokemon. It's a Pokemon.
Huh?
A fat one.
A fat one.
Pretty good, dude.
A fat one?
A FAP.
A fat one.
It says FAP. It says FAP right here.
Fat.
Fap. A Pidgeot.
So this was weird because the trailer that came out with this really doesn't look very good.
No, I didn't see it.
It's got some really, really bad looking areas.
I'll be honest, I'd skip anything with racing.
Specifically one
More
track.
car stuff.
The trees they still had like the 2D trees, looked terrible.
Really?
And then they had their stream on Twitch where it looked so much better. So it's seemingly they used old PS3 footage for the trailer. And then the stream they did on Twitch was like the actual PS4 stuff. Like, it's so bizarre.
So weird.
You know what the funny thing is? I remember years ago you showing me like some car game and being like, "Look at the graphics in this thing. It's crazy."
It was probably
like,
Gran Turismo.
State of the art, and it probably was Gran Turismo. And now, if we were to watch that now, it'd be like hilarious. It looks so outdated.
Gran Turismo still looks pretty good, to be
I
honest.
mean, they look great. Don't get me wrong. Racing games always look great. That's why I grabbed Drive Club. You know, I got it for how pretty it looked, but I deleted it the other day finally because I was like, it's eating
easy to produce those kind of elements,
right?
You know what I mean?
Because it's just metal.
It's just chromey, shiny metal.
That's true. That's a good point.
That's why Iron Man can look so awesome, like especially in the original.
Yeah, but
Iron
if you
Man
try and do
film.
a CGI human in a film, it's a whole different story.
Yeah, you got hair, skin, eyes, so many things that we can pinpoint that are like wrong.
Well, none of us really care about driving games, but if you do, you can get a GT Sport Limited Edition priced at $70 or $89 in Canadian dollars. I think that's what it's CAD. And it contains more than $129 in content.
I like that last Need for Speed was pretty cool.
That was a good looking game.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I know you were really like hyped for it. Did it live up to what you wanted it to be? I know you were really into it at points. You made a Batman car, I think.
Yeah, I like the car customization.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like that kind of shit.
And it is cool to see from the trailer that they're adding that into Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo has never been very good with the car customization.
Yeah.
That's always been the Forza,
The thing I don't like sim stuff. Like I can get down with Need for Speed because it's very arcadey. You know what I mean? I like that fast feeling of racing, and I like all the customization.
Those are the only ones I can do.
It wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was cool. The live action, like the weird live action story, like cutscenes. I'm like, this fucking sucks. It's so corny, dude.
Yeah.
But the racing was cool. I platinumed it, so I liked it enough to go like all the way and platinum it. But
good,
right?
It was fun.
I need more San Francisco Rush. I need a remake of that game.
Man, that's old school. Remember San Francisco Rush for N64?
Dude, I played it religiously.
Yeah, we played that a lot.
Yeah.
We would just try and do like weird trick flips and stuff. Like we there was this one track, and I think I've said this before, but there was one track where you would just run. They did straight away, and then there was a fountain.
As much speed as you possibly.
There was a fountain in the middle, and you would hit the corner of it perfectly, and you would just launch
right up. Yep.
Yeah. We would just spend hours trying to see how far we could get.
Yeah, the physics.
I think. Where you had like you stage your own car crash and try to rack up the points by slow mo moving your car and creating chaos.
Yeah, good car physics are fun. Can be a lot of fun, man.
It wasn't good car physics. It was
if anything, it was actually
it was the opposite of good car physics. But that's what made it funny. It was like a slapstick kind of thing.
By the way, I don't want to segue, and I'm not going to like reveal anything. But the creators of the show talked with Martin about that.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was a thing that was planned the entire. I couldn't see that was like, oh, we outthought him.
Yeah,
we're talking about Game of Thrones, but we're not going to say exactly what. It was a good ending to this episode, though. Dean, you're up with the next story.
Nintendo NX is not a successor to the Wii U or the 3DS.
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know.
Oh,
you need a lozenge?
No, I need Nintendo.
A lozenge.
IGN's Joe Balls Nintendo's president Tatsumi Kimishima has reiterated that the Nintendo NX is an entirely new console for Nintendo and will not follow the conventions of the company's currently released hardware. Speaking in the same interview that revealed Nintendo is considering entering the film business, he made clear that not only does the company see it as a brand new project, but one that will outperform the Wii U, maybe even the GameCube. The NX, that's not part of the story. Quote, the NX is neither the successor to the Wii U nor to the 3DS, said Kimishima, as translated by NeoGAF user GSR. Is that how you say it?
I don't think that's how
it's Kimishima.
Is it Kimishima?
Yeah, it's Kimishima.
Kimishima, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I don't know. I don't think there's any... Look at it. There's no other way to say it, I don't think.
I feel like it's Kimishima. It ends in an A.
Yeah, Kimishima.
I thought it was Kimishima.
Oh, it ends in an A?
Yeah, it was Kimishima.
Okay, then it's Kimishima, yeah.
You're all wasted.
Kimishima sounds worse. It's a new way of playing games, which I think will have a larger impact than the Wii U. But I don't feel it's a pure replacement for the Wii U. Here's the thing. You're not making any games for the Wii U, so you're fucking replacing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Right. Glad we're all on the same page.
Yeah, if the rumors are true, they're like stopping production of this thing over the next year. Then it's a replacement.
I don't know. They're so afraid. That's the one word I would use to describe Nintendo. They're just fucking afraid of everything.
Too. They're just shady.
Yeah, they're so shady, dude.
They're very
I can't
tentative.
stand them lately. This is not the first time Nintendo has made this clear. Late President Satoru Iwata hinted at a new direction for the company last year, saying, quote, "If you only expand upon existing hardware, it's dull. In some shape or form, we're always thinking about how we want to surprise players as well as our desire to change each person's video gaming life," end quote. Both of Nintendo's current consoles, the Wii U and the 3DS, are in some way iterations on the hardware that preceded them.
That's what I'm gathering from this, is he's saying it's not going to use a tablet controller.
Right.
And it's not going to use like the two dual screens
Here's a
of
crazy,
the 3DS.
here's a fucking crazy idea. Come out and be like, "Hey, we know you didn't like the tablet. We're not doing it."
Yeah.
Done.
Right? How many people would be happy by them
Right.
just like coming out and saying that?
That's all we
They
need.
refuse to do it because they know that's what fans want, and they're anti-fans.
At this point, they might be.
Seriously, dude, they're
ridiculous.
so beyond frustrating.
I hate hearing that from them, though. Like, it's going to be a new way to play games.
They love
No! Stop! Give us the old way to
That's
play
all we
games,
want.
but better.
Right.
Right.
Stop trying to create like some revolutionary thing. It
I
hasn't
know.
worked 2 generations in a row. Just try going back to your roots a little bit. Then maybe a generation after that, if you want to be a little ballsy again, go for it.
Right.
Give us 1 generation of normal.
Yeah,
Like, it's just ridiculous.
they hate money. They hate it.
Before we move on to the next story, Greg, could you reveal the poll results?
Drew, that's so funny that you say that because I just revealed the poll results.
Thank you for doing that. So you guys voted on your favorite game trailer segments, and Retrospectives got 3, Game Reviews got 3, and Trailer Reviews got 1. I always like the trailer reviews stuff because I like inspecting trailers.
Those I've seen. Yeah,
You know, it's,
like
it's
them.
cool to break them down and actually like grade a trailer.
Yeah.
Like, how good was this trailer?
that is cool.
Hope they bring that kind of stuff back. Greg, you're up with the last story. Go ahead.
Oh my god, it's so long. Okay, here we go. Rumors begin to circulate about Resident Evil 7. Games Radar writes, the E3 rumor mill has well and truly cranked into action. The very often correct industry insider Dr. Sirkin Toto, is that a real person, has revealed on Twitter that Resident Evil 7 is apparently in development. I better be. He says the entire game will go back to Resident Evil's horror roots and essentially be a clean slate. A return to proper horror days of yore is definitely what the franchise needs, and given the success of the HD remaster, something that Capcom knows leads to success. But the rumors don't stop there. Toto sounds pretty confident that Resident Evil 7 will be shown at E3, and he's even revealed a particularly juicy addition to the development team. Designer Jordan Amaro previously worked at Kojima Productions on both PT and Metal Gear Solid 5. That's exciting. Combine PT's first-person design, however, and Capcom's VR horror game Kitchen, and it might not come too much of a leap to imagine that VR could be the next step for Resident Evil. Before you scoff, Sony's big E3 focus this year is clearly virtual reality, and we've still not had many big VR-compatible reveals from any AAA developers. A sizzle reel for Dark Souls and Bloodborne devs from Software revealed that it's working on a PlayStation VR game, but it's never officially been announced. If last year's 5-minute Kitchen Terrorist was anything to go by, you wouldn't think waking up tied to a virtual chair could be so terrifying. Then Capcom has future plans for VR. Linking this into Resident Evil would definitely make sense, and can you imagine strapping on a headset to play proper Resident Evil horror? That would be terrifying. We should definitely take all this with a pinch of salt, as we're still in the rumor territory, but it sounds like we'll be getting some pleasantly horrific news at E3 with only 4 weeks to go. Expect more leaks to spring prior to the big event. So, we're putting a poll in the chat room for you guys. What are you expecting to see from Resident Evil 7? Are you going to see a sequel, a reboot, or a reimagining of the franchise?
Now, when I was thinking reimagining, I'm thinking like really putting a twist, kind of like our topic during It Only Does PlayStation, like turning it on its head.
Right.
Like really changing up Resident Evil, not just rebooting it. Maybe like changing all the characters, making it almost like a different genre. No,
Like, here's what sucks is that, and I know it has a lot of big fans. Greg, is one of them. But I really don't give a fuck about Resident Evil anymore, and I hate saying that. Just because I used to really love Resident Evil. Like, I love playing. I played 1, I played 2, very briefly. I played 3.
Yep.
4 was one of my favorites. Like, I played 5. Like, I liked them, but they just gradually got worse and worse. It kind of was like a series that had a lot of credibility, and then like slowly became more Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, 6 was just atrocious, in my opinion. Like, why the fuck am I jumping out of this helicopter into a parachute that's getting, hit by debris, and I have to hit X at the right time? Like, fuck this shit, man. Put me in a haunted house with a handgun and 1 bullet.
I do think they need to just flat out reboot it, or go even further, reboot it, but like give us new characters, like give us a new group of people to become invested in. Like,
Yeah.
I think they need to really, really start fresh. You don't agree, Greg?
The characters are so cool. They're like
Yeah, but
iconic.
We've
now
had
for that
7
series.
games with
Right,
them.
like
6
as
games.
as a fan of the series and someone who loves it so much, I'm surprised you wanted to keep going because it just, to me, it's kind of like with James
have-
Bond. If
no,
it was just getting
they
worse
have-
and worse, it'd be like kill it.
They
done.
have okay. So Resident Evil 6 is not atrocious. There's some good elements in there. That game is very, very bad. It's probably the worst of the series, but it's definitely not atrocious. It's playable. There was no glitches in it, and some of the elements work. When it comes to the rest of the Resident Evil franchise as a whole, I think they do some really interesting and really dark and unique stuff with the Revelation series, but nobody ever looks at that or continues those into the chronology of Resident Evil. I think if they take their characters that they already have as staples, maybe take them and make it more of like an Easter egg kind of thing, or like, oh, this is where they're at. They're doing something in another part of the world. You can hear about them, but you're playing as this new person, and this is a new virus. Something else happened. Blah blah blah. I don't think.
aren't some of your favorite Resident Evils though ones that introduced entirely new characters? Like Resident Evil 0, isn't that entirely new characters in that?
No, Rebecca Chambers is in Resident Evil 1.
She's
She's the main
okay.
character of that game. Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure. I mean, I you know me, I'm not that invested in Resident Evil. I played a
My
little bit
two
of 4, I
favorite
played
Resident Evil
5.
games are 0 and 4, and Leon was from 2, and then Rebecca was from 1.
Yeah. I just personally, I just feel like it needs to start over myself.
I'm
I'm
not a
like,
Resident Evil guy, but it sounds like it's not been doing.
So none of
No.
your opinions are validated.
I mean, I don't know. I think we've keep a pretty keen ear on
If
the
there was
heartbeat of the
a
industry.
new Resident Evil game release, would you guys buy it?
well, that's the thing.
It depends. I haven't
yeah.
seen anything.
If they impress me by like starting fresh and doing something interesting, I might. But if they just bring back Resident Evil 1 and have the same exact characters and just make it a reboot, no, I probably won't. I'm not going to be interested in that.
Same.
I need something completely new from them.
Same.
And if they go Resident Evil 7 and it's just a sequel, I'm definitely not going towards it.
Same. Same.
Because I don't care about any of the characters that they've created so far.
You're all
I
dirty.
need new characters. But I'm not the audience. So it's a question of if they want to hold on to their small dwindling audience right now that's starting to lose interest, or do they want to grab the audience that's there currently and try and expand upon that, which I think is what they would want to do, right? So if they want to do that, I think they need to start fresh and give us new characters.
So I like Code Veronica as well because it felt very much similar to the original style, Resident Evils that I liked. But I don't know. I know a lot of other people didn't love it that
Yeah.
much.
Code Veronica was one of my least
If
favorite.
they really want to get me, put Batman in it. I'll play that shit.
Greg, I feel like it's been long enough. Let's see what the poll results are
Indeed.
for what the viewers want Resident Evil 7 to be. If it's even going to be called Resident Evil 7. So you guys said, not a lot of votes, but sequel 1, reboot 4. Nobody wants
There
a
we go.
reimagining. Guys, a reboot, to me, reboot just means same game, just like almost like a remaster, a remake. Like, right?
Yeah.
What
Well,
do
they
you
already
think
did
when you
that.
think Resident Evil reboot?
When I hear a reboot, I think same characters.
Same characters, yeah.
Typically, when a movie is rebooted, it has the same characters.
It's like the Tomb Raider reboot.
Right.
Same character, just
Right.
a little bit different.
Spider-Man. There's always Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It's never like Miles Morales. It's always the reboot of what's already there.
Yeah,
Man,
and that's,
I wish we would get a Miles Morales. I know you're not huge on him, but
I don't know. I haven't read it. I don't know
I thought you
anything
said you
about
weren't like
Miles.
that big on him.
No, I just love Peter Parker. I don't know much about Miles. I thought it was
Okay,
fun.
guys, we're going to move on to our trailer of the week. If you guys don't know, the way we do that now is we play the trailer, we react to it, but the segment officially starts following the trailer, and then we'll discuss it. That portion will go up on our YouTube.
Because Fox is a dick.
Yes, we're trying as
A
best
bigger
as we
dick
can
right now
not
than
to...
before.
Yes. By the way,
Yeah, I thought you were
let's
going
talk
to
about that real quick. So I put a dispute against Fox on the Independence Day trailer resurgence that we
Right.
did, where we showed approximately 10 seconds of footage over the course of 13 minutes, like just
Was it
sparingly.
really 10 seconds that much?
Maybe, but it's like sparingly, and it's
Right,
like
it was
half a
like-
second here, half a second there.
Right.
Probably total about 10 seconds. So I disputed that, and Fox came back and said, nope, we're still holding on to this copyright claim. So I can either appeal that, which I'm not going to do. Like, I'm not going to fight this at this point, because if they're being such dicks, they're probably just going to issue a copyright strike next, which I'm not messing around
Right.
with.
We don't wanna do that
But
again.
yes, Fox sucks.
You're a dick.
All
Big
right,
dick.
so we're
I
gonna
like
we're
New
gonna play the
Girl.
trailer. Hope you guys enjoy it, and then we'll react afterwards. Welcome, Level Uppers, to another live reaction time. We just watched a trailer for Ghostbusters. This was the second trailer. Let's get out of the way automatically. Yes, the first trailer was hated on beyond any other trailer we've ever seen on YouTube. It's the most hated trailer ever on YouTube.
For obnoxious reasons, too.
For reasons that we don't quite agree with. I don't think it's the best trailer, just to get out of the way.
But not the most hated trailer.
Dude, definitely isn't the worst trailer I've ever seen.
Fair, I know someone in the chat's going to say, somebody everywhere always says it, yeah, you totally cannot like this just because you don't like it. And not have anything to do with it being an all-female cast. That's fine.
Yep.
But a lot of people, fact of the matter is, aren't liking it because it's a female cast.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I'm sorry. If you don't like it because you don't like it, that's
whatever.
Fine.
Yeah, that's if you feel like it's shitting on the legacy and you feel like it just doesn't look funny, if it doesn't look funny to you,
I'm glad you said that. So, I guess I'll kick off. I think this movie looks fucking funny.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the action actually looks pretty cool, too.
Yes, and I think it visually looks pretty good.
And now, with that said, yeah, totally. I'm not one of these, like, I like Ghostbusters a lot. I think it's funny. I own it on Blu-ray. I think it's great. I'm not like this, like, Ghostbusters is the fucking Bible. Like, it's a
like
fucking
Greg.
funny 80s.
I think we should all say that right now. None of us are coming from being, like, enormous Ghostbusters fans.
Right.
So that's who we are.
Like,
We enjoy it. I love what, I mean,
it's
Bill Murray.
It's great. It's super funny.
You have some greats in there. But here's, I want to
But
bring
it's
up
like it's like a funny 80s movie. Like,
right.
It's
I
not
like
fucking
that.
Citizen Kane, you know what I
I
mean?
actually just watched it not even a month ago, like all the way through
Thank
for
you,
the first
fucking
time in a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I might get some hate, but it's good.
I think if you're watching it now,
totally, man.
for the first time,
great. And I'm not even going to use the word overrated or anything, any of that kind of crap. I just watching it, I have no connection to it. You know what I mean?
Right,
like I don't think of it as like this Bible like movie. So I watch it and I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10.
I think that's fine
If
because I think people coming into it now, never seen it before, you might have missed the boat. You know, like you weren't there when it was this thing. The comedy is great, and I think it really fit at the time when it was a comedy that was a little bit dirty here and there, and it surprised people in a little bit of ways. And it still works well to this day, but I could understand somebody watching it for the first time now and being like, I don't get it.
Totally.
There are reasons why I know I'm not going to like it.
Right.
I actually am not a big fan of, what's her name? The big one.
Melissa McCarthy.
The biggest
Melissa
one?
McCarthy.
Melissa
I used to really like her, and she's gone down this path of being, I'm going to be slapstick over and over again, and to me, it's obnoxious.
Those are the roles she's getting. And,
Right.
I mean, she's been with Paul Feig a lot, the guy who's directing this film.
Right.
And Spy, I just watched recently. I thought Spy was really funny.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, and Paul Feig comes from Freaks and Geeks. He's got a really good track record about him, actually.
Right.
And let's get into the trailer a little bit. This is a much better trailer than the first
easily,
trailer.
yeah.
And none of us were really that down on the first trailer, like some other people seem to be. But this is definitely a better trailer. It's better paced. It has more comedy. It has more action. It just overall, it gives a better idea of what we're going to see in the film.
Yeah.
Right.
The first 30 seconds of the first trailer is just 30 years ago.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It kind of drags out.
Also, the whole Melissa McCarthy, a lot of people are on your side not liking Melissa McCarthy. I'm indifferent on Melissa McCarthy. I will say this. She was funny as shit in, help me out,
Bridesmaids?
Bridesmaids.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
was.
no, I
That
liked her
movie's
in that.
hilarious,
But
and
it
she
was
was
also
funny in it.
a role that she played, whereas this, she's playing herself. I don't know. It's just there are certain people that fall into that.
This is not that, and that's why I'm interested because totally. The last like 6 movies after that was the same.
You know what I'm
fucking
talking
character.
about, right?
Absolutely.
I hated
this
it.
is not that.
Well,
Yeah, I do.
She's
agree.
playing someone
Did you guys
intelligent
see-
here.
yeah.
It's different. You know what I mean? She's playing a
Did you guys-
scientist now.
Did you guys see the last couple of Melissa McCarthy movies?
I saw Spy.
I saw
very
some of
recently.
them.
Have you seen The Boss? Have you
No.
seen Road Trip? Have you
I
seen?
saw the one with what's his
have you
face,
seen-
Michael Bluth.
Michael
I don't even
With
know what
Chris,
that
with Michael Cera?
No.
Oh, old
no,
Michael
no, no.
Bluth. Jason
I
Bateman.
can't think of
Jason
Bateman.
Bateman.
Jason.
Yeah.
What was
I
she
mean, I
know
like
what
her.
it's called.
I think
I saw
she's
that.
very funny.
Yeah.
I like Melissa McCarthy. My whole fucking deal with this fucking movie is I hate that it's getting this much goddamn hate because it's not a fucking franchise like Star Wars or something that's set
I
in
agree.
history as this
I
fucking...
think you're stepping on some toes there.
Right. Listen, there's no reason to say that it doesn't deserve as much love and affection as Star Wars or anything like that. And really, that's all what you were just saying was going down. But the issue is, listen, you had your time with that series, and now it won't go to it. It won't. You won't.
I just don't see how it tarnishes the originals.
Right.
You have the original still. First of all, the second one wasn't even that good. So really, you're just crazy about the first one.
Also, guess what? They're re-releasing the original in theater, so how a blast!
Yeah.
Right.
Go watch in the movies. Like this one's not even happening.
Here's my issue. Now it had a lot of really cool stuff. We saw more.
Yeah, let's watch. I mean, I thought this was pretty freaky. Like that kind of stuff. That
really
looks
cool
scary.
looking.
We
The
saw that
trap
before.
is actually pretty great.
Let's fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, the new packs.
We saw the scene before.
Right.
And that's the other thing to go against. Even if you don't like Kristen Wiig, or I'm not Melissa McCarthy. Kristen Wiig is funny as shit.
I like Kristen Wiig a lot.
Almost everything.
And the other, I can't remember the one that's supposed to be playing Egon. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
What's her name,
from
Greg?
Saturday Night Live.
Which one? Leslie McKinnon?
The blonde, Leslie McKinnon.
Leslie McKinnon.
Yeah, I think she's gonna nail this
yeah.
really good. She looks so much
Or
like
excuse me,
the source material.
I'm sorry, I messed that up. Leslie Jones is the black woman. Kate McKinnon is the
Kate
black
McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon.
There you
I
go.
also think Leslie Jones is getting some shitty jokes thrown at her, but I think she's gonna be funny too.
Right, I think
That's
she's
her
gonna
card.
nail the
You guys
character
watch
she's supposed to.
SNL now? That's her card. That's what she does.
Yeah,
She plays
right.
the race card. So
And that's
why she's
fine to
Batman.
do that, but I feel like they're overplaying it in certain parts, and it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. Like,
Sure.
that whole, like, I don't know if it's a race thing or what, like,
Yeah.
I
hope
don't know.
if that's the only one, like if there's not too much of that,
Right,
whatever.
I'll be
Well,
fine.
that's the thing is, here's the scene right here. I think it looks like a really cool scene. It's
Right,
gonna be
I
like
think it's-
almost like a set piece moment, I guess you
Right.
could say, with the dragon. The last joke of the film, which we're gonna get, or the trailer, with her having the dragon on her back, I think that's really funny. I just think that the crowd surfing joke has been done so many times in so many films, and it seems like they're throwing it into the trailers over and over again to combat, kind of like a meta thing, to combat the criticism towards the film that is it about her being black? Is it about these being women? Like, I get it, but it's a little too on the nose. And just stop. We've seen it before. I think that's the main problem with this trailer. If I were to give it a problem, is that they're playing the same jokes multiple times. We saw the spitting in the face joke. We saw the crowd surfing joke. Like, let's see a little bit of new stuff, maybe. And they do give a little bit of new stuff.
Chris Hemsworth looks like he's gonna be super funny.
Yeah.
So yes, a lot. And that's actually something that kind of bothers and worries me. In the first trailer and what we were seeing, like, I thought he was supposed to be the secretary, and the secretary never had more than, it was a minor comedic role to back up everything else, and, it was glue to hold everything, Right. But in this, Chris Hemsworth seems like he's going to be a very integral part to the actual team. So to me, that's like, and I'm not
So
trying
maybe it looks
to
like he
play
might be the villain.
Well, right, I'm going to go to that, which is cool, and I like that they're doing that, but he has a lot of, like, it looks like he's working on the experiments a lot, and he's doing a lot more than a normal secretary would be if it was a guy's film.
Well, he's supposed to be insanely vapid. Like, he's supposed to be... I think it's supposed to be intentionally a twist on, like, this is the female Ghostbusters, so let's take a stereotypical female secretary who's supposed to be like a bimbo, but we're going to make the male that instead. Yeah. And some people don't like that. Some people think it's really dumb and sexist. And I think it's
like
awesome.
that they're doing it, but it doesn't seem, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like they're going that route. It seems like they're making him have a bigger...
No, you know what? There's actually...
Yes.
This is not the trailer I saw, actually.
Oh, really?
No. There's another one, and in it, there's more Chris Hemsworth there.
Right, and yeah, I know what you're talking
blatantly, they're like... They say something, he's like, what do we call ourselves? And like they tell him this big long name, and he picks the phone, he like smacks the back of it, he's like, Ghostbusters. It's so fucking good. Dude.
No, I saw like a behind the scenes one too, where it had a lot of Chris Hemsworth jokes, and he looks funny.
He's gonna crush it.
Did you see the
where
he draws the design for the Ghostbusters?
Yeah. I think this is gonna be big for him, because nothing he does that's not holding that hammer, it flops. Whenever he's not Thor, dude, done.
But he definitely has a comedic side to him.
I think the comedy is what's going to do it for him. I think if he can show that off, he's going to start becoming a very different kind of actor.
Now we see some cool shots here. I thought this was really neat. Like, we finally see a non-green. We're seeing blue and green. We're seeing a little bit more colors in the ghosts.
Why is that a thing for everybody too? Everyone's real concerned about the colors.
Yeah, they are. That's why I brought it up, because it seems like people are.
I don't know.
Concerned.
Is that a problem?
I didn't know that was an issue.
You think it?
People have a problem.
Think it is a problem?
I don't think it's a problem, but a lot of people think it's a problem that all the ghosts are blue.
You guys live in the world of like pop culture, nerd culture stuff. Are you really surprised that people are like, why are they not green?
You know what?
They
once
should be green.
Once in a while, dude, someone throws me for a curveball, because you're right. Like, usually I can see this shit coming, like the thing with the females, like, I could have called that a mile away.
Yeah, 100%.
That stuff like I would have never have guessed that.
There was going to be like a quadrillion sexist
No, because
nerds
you know why?
be
Like, all the ghosts in Ghostbusters are like white and translucent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Wasn't
oh
that
sure,
here?
blue and green.
Right.
Like, why the fuck not?
It's not just the blue and green thing. A lot of people think it looks like pixels. It's too CGI looking. It's because people are so used to the practical effects of the originals and
Right.
the charm of that, I guess you could call
I
it.
also
And I understand
think
that.
if Pixels hadn't come out right before this, it would be a whole different discussion probably.
Maybe. Yeah. But in this scene, I thought this... I don't know why it cracks me up so much, but his face there just cracks me up.
Yeah, he's funny as shit.
He's funny as shit. He
Shaking
really
the
is. I
dust
really
off
like
his jacket. It's amazing,
To
dude.
compare it to something, it's kind of like in the Evil Dead series, which used like a lot of practical effects. And now, like, we watch even the Evil Dead show, and there's a lot of good quality CGI.
How do you like that, by the way?
I only watched like the first 4 episodes. I need to get back into it, but I thought it was awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean the detour.
What I saw of it was awesome, and I really dug it. And it had that good kind of blend of slapsticky kind of horror and stuff, and it wasn't too over the top like Army of Darkness, which like a lot of people consider like an amazing movie,
Right.
and it's fun, but it's almost too over the top. Like Evil Dead 2 was awesome and that's kind of what the new Evil Dead kind of.
Well, that's what I was hoping to get out of this, is that it would be
really.
slapsticky, but like maybe a little more horror. So it, I like that they're going the comedy route. I would like to see them go toward more.
Well, let's go to that
like,
first
the
shot. I
comics and
thought that
everything.
first shot, that's pretty freaking scary to me. Like that, I think that's scary.
I think so, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I think
I
that's
was
pretty
down
scary.
with the ghost from the get-go in the first show when they're walking across the street and the one like slow turns.
Yeah.
I always thought they were kind of fucking
No,
creepy.
Ghostbusters is awesome because it is that. It's like the Evil Dead PG-13 rated stuff where it's like slapstick, but good quality horror and frights and stuff. And
Slimer looks pretty
Slimer.
good, I think,
Yeah.
in CGI.
The scene that you really like, where she's getting grabbed, and she's like being pulled and holding onto the table.
Yeah.
That is 100% a Bill Murray type move.
Yeah, it's so
Like, and
funny,
that's
dude.
what I like, is that they are trying to channel like what they did, into this.
Paul Feig comes from like 20 years of comedy. Like the guy knows comedy pretty well. I think people need to give it a little bit more benefit of the doubt here.
I think this is going to be
Shut
one of
the
those
fuck up.
things that the people who see it are really going to enjoy it, and the people who don't will never like it anyway.
I still say that's my favorite part in the trailer is just the way she's acting too. Like,
Right.
nope,
I'm going, I'm up.
Still walking slowly, and then you got the selfie shot, which is pretty funny. But this one thing here, I think they should have saved that.
Right, I hate that they showed that already. Like,
Yeah.
it's the whole Doomsday, it's the whole Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
Like, stop playing your cards so
Yeah,
early.
I mean, for it to
Let
be
people
literally,
surprised.
it's half a second in the trailer. Like,
Right.
it didn't do anything for me. Like,
Right.
it does nothing to make me more excited about the film. But it would have been a cool thing. Like, oh, they did the Marshmallow Man. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Like, to bring that back from the original, I just think they should have saved that.
I agree.
Stay
But-
Puff.
Stay Puft, sorry.
I mean, it is the full name is Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yeah, I was close enough.
You used the last name, you used first names. I guess you guys are a little closer than Drew is.
Yeah. But overall, I still say this film is going to be
That's
fine.
the first time I'm actually watching this newest trailer, and it definitely looks a million times better than
Yeah.
that first trailer. That first trailer was just like, what the shit is this?
I'm up on it, man.
I was okay with the first trailer. I think that
I was okay
as
with it,
I
too.
watched it more and more, I was like, okay, I see some of these jokes aren't landing. I get it.
Yeah,
This
get
looks
it.
better.
I get why some people didn't like certain jokes. I'm
First of all,
planting
that's
my
anything.
flag on this one though. Like I'm not persuaded. I think it looks funny. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm up on this movie. I like it.
Sometimes,
I think it was
sometimes
cool.
you put sometimes it happens. You see that. Sometimes you see an unfunny trailer, which is very uncommon because usually the trailer is better than the movie.
They
as a
grab all
whole.
the funniest jokes.
So
Right.
they grab all the funniest jokes. But I'll tell you right now, I loved Deadpool. But Deadpool was a perfect example of a movie that was all jokes, and not every joke lands.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and not every joke like landed in Deadpool. It was good, but there were some like
That it's
clunkers
gonna
here
happen.
and there.
Yeah, you're gonna have some.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Every joke in Deadpool landed for me. I was fucking dying in that movie theater.
Yeah.
Dude.
But you know what's funny is there are
why
more
it
people.
would've,
I
though.
didn't realize how many people. I mean, we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, well, I agree. Not every joke can land, in my opinion. I don't think I've seen almost any
Totally.
film ever.
That's what I'm
that
saying. Like I
lands
understand
on every
it's not gonna be
joke,
that way
but-
for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm so excited to see this, and I'm so excited for it to come out because honestly, at this point, like I wanted to get like a 95 on Rotten
Right?
Tomatoes
Yeah.
just to be like, "Fuck all
I
you
know,
guys."
that would be amazing.
That would be.
That would
It would
be
just be a nice, like,
amazing.
to stick it to all those people that have a problem
Someone
with
who
this.
Game Killer wants to hear from Greg. Greg, go. What do you think?
I think if it even
You're not Greg.
You're not Greg.
Greg, go ahead.
Where I come down on the movie, I'm gonna see it. It's a crap movie Tuesday for me. I don't think it deserves all the hate that it's getting. I think people are fucking absurd in why they treasure the series so much. And honestly, like, I don't think anything great of the films. I'm just saying when you put a movie like this on a pedestal, it was like an 80s film. It wasn't like a film that changed the movie industry. It wasn't like this pivotal landmark. So until you see the movie for yourself, I don't think you should judge it just like you should do with people and everything else in your life. Don't be disliking something just because it's made of all women or just because you didn't like one of the jokes. Like, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's where I fall.
I just think
I'll be seeing it.
it's
I'm
okay
excited
to
for it.
dislike this movie. It's okay to dislike the trailer,
Sure.
but to have it like a 9-to-1 dislike to like
That's my
ratio
point.
makes zero sense.
Right. Well, and I think I can't remember who it was that just said it, but they were saying that a lot of the hate also comes that they were trying to get another one or a remake for years, and it never happened. And all of a sudden, Harold Ramis dies, and they, all of a sudden it happens. Well,
Yeah.
Sure.
to shed some light, part of the reason is the original cast couldn't get along enough to do it.
Yeah,
Right.
they tried so
Yeah.
many times.
Right, so don't act like that's the... I mean, I don't know if you're on that side, but if that is your stance, that's a shitty stance, because apparently you don't know shit as well as you think you
Bill
do.
Murray never wanted to do Ghostbusters in the first place.
Yep.
And he
It was pretty much
didn't
just
want-
Aykroyd that wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
You
Aykroyd was
guys
the only
know
one.
that story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The story of why he ended up doing
Yeah,
the movie
only
in the
so he
first
could get...
place?
what movie was it that he wanted to get?
He wanted like some indie,
shitty thing
some
that
indie
didn't
flick
work.
greenlit, and the only way that it was greenlit was that he said that if you fund this movie, I'll appear in Ghostbusters. I'll do this movie,
Right.
because he wanted to be taken seriously
Yeah.
as an actor. And then he did that. They did it for him, and he did both movies. And that movie flopped, and
Right.
Ghostbusters went on to be like this
And he hated it.
phenomenon.
That's part of his stance on Hollywood in general.
Yeah.
but-
Yeah, it's kind of like when you have a band that like their most popular
Right.
song they hate performing for
Right.
some
yeah,
reason,
you
like
get sick and tired of
like
playing
Freak or whatever it's called by Radiohead.
Yeah.
that kind of
I will
thing.
say I never got that. As a person who's been in a band, our most popular song, I fucking love that. Because that's the one the crowd was like in for.
Yeah.
Dude. And you're like, I can't wait to get to that song.
Yeah.
We're going to close with it. Everyone's going to be having a great time. I never understood that.
Anyway, come time, when this releases, when does this release?
Don't know.
Did it say?
Yeah, I don't know either when
Good
it comes out,
question.
but
Trailer?
I think we're all going to try and see this movie
Oh,
just so
absolutely.
we can be a part of the dialogue, and you guys will hear our opinions on the film, and we'll be as honest as we can be. We're not going to go in with
No.
any bias. We're
I
just
won't
gonna go
July-
sugarcoat it at all either.
July 15th.
July 15th.
That's
Not
not
that
bad.
far away. So, thank you so much for watching, everybody. This will go up on our YouTube at youtube.com/The Level Up Network. If you're not watching it there already, please subscribe. And if you want to see these live, they will be on Twitch at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Please follow us there. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to level up. All right, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll come back with the level update part 2. Hold on tight, Tobes. We'll be back in approximately 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 122. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. If you like what we're doing at any point, please make sure to follow the show. Hit that heart button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. Thank you to Poncho. He's our most recent follow. And check out all our other channels as well, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. And please follow us there to support us. All right, we're going to move on to the level update part 2.
Yeah.
First up, Kojima's PlayStation exclusive title will use a third-party graphics engine. IGN's Joe Wicca Screbbles writes,
Nailed it.
Hideo Kojima has confirmed that his first post-Konami game will use a third-party engine, and that his well-documented trips to meet creatives in video games and otherwise have at least in part been to find which tools his new project will utilize. Speaking at the Nordic Game 2016 Festival, Kojima explained that in order to ensure a timely release for the new Kojima Productions debut, he had to go against his preferred methods. Quote, "I actually think it's better to make games using internal tools," Kojima said. "As for my first title, because I want to release it to the people who are waiting for it, for that title we are going to use a third-party engine. The reason I'm traveling around the world is looking for such technology to use," end quote. Kojima has previously said that he and the PS4 architect Mark Cerny were searching for the newest technology, but it's not been clear exactly what that meant until today. Kojima's tour has seen him visit Quantic Dream, currently working on a new engine, and CryEngine creators Crytek, among others. His new game is said to be for the fans of AAA action, and his talk emphasized that his plans for it expanded beyond being, quote, a small title after his meetings during the tour. Finally, quote, "At the beginning I was thinking to make a small title, but after I met friends and acquaintances worldwide, they said, quote, no, everyone's expecting you to make a big title, so the first title coming from me will be a big title." We have a poll for you guys in the chat. Which engine do you think that Kojima should use or wish he would use? Should it be the Unreal Engine 4, Frostbite engine, or the Fox engine somehow, if he were able to get that from Fox, or from Konami, I should say. And here also recently is the first look at the character that inspired design for Kojima Productions. His name is
Very
Ludens. and it's a skeleton inside some weird astronaut uniform.
Super cool.
It is super
And it
cool.
sucks that, I mean, we got confirmation, right? That, well, according to him, which doesn't always mean a lot, he said it's not going to be based on a character from his first game.
No.
But that doesn't always mean anything from Kojima
That
either,
being said, like, there are inspirations in that design. Like, you can see an exclamation point on his suit. So he's clearly, like, going to do little things, I bet, to call back to Metal Gear.
Absolutely.
And maybe not Psychonauts, oh, God, what was it called? I'm drawing a blank on it. It was something Nauts. One of his early Police Nauts. Nauts and Snatcher and all those old games that he has. Well, he might call back upon those. So, pretty cool. Go ahead, Mike.
Looks pretty badass. That said, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but Destiny's new DLC has been leaked. Kotaku rates Destiny's next expansion is called Rise of the Iron, according to leaked marketing materials that popped up on Reddit last night. The expansion, which is expected in September, should be officially revealed at E3. We were wrong. We were talking about it the other night on the Only Does PlayStation, saying how, maybe a sequel or anything. I forgot that they had pushed it back after all the kerfuffle going on.
Kerfuffle. Nice word.
Bungie. Thank you. Two sources familiar with Bungie confirmed that the authenticity of this poster to Kotaku last night. The Rise of Iron expansion will feature a new raid and will be larger than the 2 Year 1 DLC packs, according to the source. And they also said, of course, as the Taken King showed us, the amount of scale of content in a Destiny expansion can vary widely, and it may not be fair to compare this to previous DLC at all. It's not clear how this expansion is related to Destiny's regular Iron Banner PvP event, but that appears to be an Iron Banner Maestro Lord Saladin brandishing a hammer or axe in the poster. The new raid will center around Fallen with a Twist, said a person familiar with the ongoings at Bungie. Development on that raid started last summer, according to that source, and at one point, Bungie had planned to launch it in April, but it was then delayed when their plans shifted at the beginning of 2016. What, when you started fucking around a lot?
Yeah, that is probably one.
Yeah. In January, as we reported earlier this year, Bungie moved its internal target for Destiny 2 from 2016 to 2017. Replacing D2 in this fall slot will be Rise of Iron, although it's not clear what else Bungie will release between then and fall of next year. From what we hear, Destiny 2 was recently rebooted, which I don't like the way that sounds, with Taken King director Luke Smith taking the reins of that project in the wake of a Bungie staff reorganization. So I like that they're putting the guy in charge of the best thing that happened to Destiny, in charge of Destiny as a whole. That's good. That's, comforting to me. I can say, I said this before, I really don't think I'm going to get this. I don't see any reason as of right now why I would get this. I played the last, like the last free stuff and everything that they added. I didn't give two fucks. I literally downloaded the game again, all the DLC, to play it with one of my buddies that I did Trash Talk with. Turned it on for an hour. I was like, nope, fuck this, I'm out. And I deleted it again. So
Here's the thing. Now, I'm going to say this anyway, against better judgment, because I feel if I say it, you will make a point to contradict it, but I bet you anything you wind up playing this.
Like I said, I want to say that I won't play it.
What'd you say, Greg?
I was going to say the same thing.
This sounds long-winded.
No, that was it. That was the end of it.
Oh, okay.
No, I agree. I think you will.
You're gonna wind up playing it. I can see it. I can see the mic. This is the way. All right. This is the way the mic trail happens, ladies and gentlemen. A little behind the scenes. He goes, This. I don't know. They kind of lost me. I don't think I'm gonna be playing this. And then you hear another little something. Maybe a couple days later. This is happening. It's really not sounding like my thing. I'm not. This is. I don't know why this is so dumb. You know what? This came out. They released the notes of what's included. Sounded kind of good. I don't know. Rick, you gonna be checking this out? John, you gonna be checking this out? Then the day it comes out, well, I played Destiny for 30 hours yesterday.
I invented time. No, and you're right. I mean, I did it last time, but and it did surprise me. With this, they haven't done anything to substantially add character to the game to where I want to continue on. The benefit of the Taken King was that it did add what I wanted out of the original game.
Taken King was cool.
Taken King was great, and it's what we wanted out of the original title, right? We had to unfortunately wait a while, and they did a lot of fucking around, but we eventually got it. The difference with this is it's just more continuation on the same game. Sure. So I honestly have less faith in this than I did in anything else so far in Destiny. This is one of those times where I'm like, I'm done. This is it.
You're a creature of habit. That's That is for sure, my friend.
We'll see. I mean, like I said, I'm not taking it off the table because you're right. I do that a lot, but
that's
I really don't see.
That's where it begins. Is it's being left on the table.
A slippery slope.
That's all I've done. No, I will certainly not be playing. Destiny is. I'll never go back. Maybe Destiny 2.
Like I was gonna say, Destiny
this
2,
iteration of Destiny.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I
remember when I played 6 hours of Destiny.
Yeah.
Dude, you were terrible too. It was so awesome.
Greg, me, Mike, and Greg actually played for a while there.
Right.
When it first came out.
We all played the beta too for a while.
We did, yeah.
I played more of the beta than I did.
Right.
The beta is what killed me because I burned myself out.
Yep.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, this is the game. When the game came out, I was like, all right, maybe I should have not played that beta then.
Right.
Because there's not much else to do.
No.
YT Gamer says, so who is sitting in the chair with their face cut off? That's my brother, Anthony, over here, joining us tonight. The body of Greg Verga.
Thank you.
Dean, I think you're up with the next story, right?
Sure am. Batman Return to Arkham has officially been confirmed.
Yeah.
Other news. I could not be more happy. Engadget has written, happy. Batman fans, rejoice! Soon you'll be making another sojourn back into the Batman Arkham video game franchise with the upcoming Batman Return to Arkham Remastered Collection, releasing July 29th. I thought it was the 26th. No?
I copied and pasted this story, so.
Oh, fuck me. For $49.99 American dollars. Following leak after leak and silence from Warner Brothers, a trailer finally dropped today showing off the graphical enhancements both games in the collection have undergone. And they look really, really great in Unreal Engine 4, I want to say. Both Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City, as well as all of the DLC content previously released for both, is included with the package. That includes all the cool, like, exclusive skins, do we know?
I would imagine,
yeah.
In Batman Incorporated, I remember you could only get if you bought, like, Green Lantern on Blu-ray or some shit.
I would imagine they give you everything.
True story, dude.
Yeah. I would imagine they give you everything at this point.
There's a badass Batman Beyond skin I had to buy on eBay for like $1.30.
That was my favorite.
You can only get if you
it was awesome, yeah.
pre-order it in a certain country or something like that or whatever. It was
Batman
so stupid.
Batman Beyond was awesome.
It was awesome.
Following leak after leak and silence from Warner Brothers, the trailer finally... Nope, I already read that, right?
Yep.
Sure did. Both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owners can get in on the fun, but curiously, there's no PC version announced as of yet. The ports... I wonder why they don't want to do anything for PC right now. The ports for both consoles are being handled by Virtuos, the studio that worked on both Final Fantasy X and Heavy Rain's remastered editions.
Both of those came out well.
What happened?
I said both of those came out well, so I have high hopes.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine here. And the games will feature improved graphics, models, lighting, effects, and additional augments. Both of Rocksteady's first... Now, hold on a sec. I almost steamrolled that. Additional augments... Does that mean new stuff for weapons? Like maybe tweaking the gameplay? Tighter combat?
Maybe they're
just going to make it feel a little bit more like Knights.
I was going to say maybe the combat's going to flow better.
That's what I'm wondering. And the big thing I remember is the grapple feeling... Especially from Arkham Knight, the grapple in Arkham City feels very slow, so maybe you can like speed that shit up.
Okay,
that's interesting. I didn't know that, but they were going like really remastering here. Both of Rocksteady's first two, what is this? Dalliances? I've never read that word in my life.
What's the word?
Dalliances?
Dalliances?
Dalliances? Is that how you would say
I don't know if was that a word that you meant?
Moving on.
We're learning a new word today, and I'm going to
again. I copied and pasted this thing.
Both of Rocksteady's first two dalliances, I guess, with Arkham and the Batman mythos are excellent games in their own merits, and it's well worth a walk down memory lane to experience them again. This time, maybe you'll even find all the Riddler's trophies, or if you're not a bitch, you found them the first time.
Good for you.
Sure did. Gonna platinum them again, both of them. Can't fucking.
I don't know. Where do you get this time?
Right. That's what.
I don't know, dude. Honestly, I don't have it. I just.
Where do you make it? Then?
I just make it.
How do you make time? It's wild.
I told you I fell asleep getting Uncharted trophies last night because I just try to stay up as late as I can on the weekends.
You passed out playing Uncharted?
Yeah, I was trying to get 20 ledge pulls, and I got to the 5th one, and I woke up, and I was hanging off the same ledge with my controller. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, fuck, what was I doing?
Holy shit.
Dalliance. A brief or casual involvement with something.
That's a really vague definition right there. That's a very broad definition.
It actually more often relates to a casual romantic or sexual relationship.
Oh, that's more specific.
That's probably the way they meant it.
Yeah. Before we move on to the final story, Greg, will you reveal the polls? You just did. Thank you. You know what I'm talking about, man.
Always, sir.
Thank you. So you guys want the Kojima game to be on the Unreal Engine 4. Good. We had 2 votes for Frostbite and 1 vote for Fox. That's most unlikely because Konami owns the Fox engine, and there's some bad blood there, obviously.
Frostbite's good, but I don't think it's what we want from a Konami-type game.
Right.
Or not Konami, a Kojima-type game.
There was a few other ones they talked about in there, like Crytek. There's always a possibility for Crytek. But
again, same idea. It doesn't flow in the way that you would, I don't think, want it to.
I think Unreal would be fine.
God, this made me sick. I can't believe that they are...
Gregory Verga, you're up with the last story.
Oh, this isn't even a crappy movie Tuesday. This is just a bad idea. Tetris is being planned as a movie trilogy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even know. Aaron Snithica writes this story. Yeah, we'll go with it. When we first wrote about the existence of a live-action sci-fi film based on the narrative-free game Tetris a few years ago, we weren't sure if the project would be stuck in development hell forever, like previous Asteroids and Spy Hunter movie projects, or if it would eventually become a bona fide big-budget blockbuster like the $300 million grossing Battleship. Today brings a bit of news leaning toward the latter possibility, as Threshold Entertainment announced that it had secured $80 million in funding for the project. Threshold, what is happening over there? Are you choking?
Dude, Drew's face. He's trying so hard.
Tell me it's a fake story.
No,
not that.
There's something in the chat that I'm not going to bring up. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. Keep moving.
Okay. Threshold's Larry Kazanoff is no stranger to video game adaptations. He worked on the halfway decent Mortal Kombat film back in 1995, which grossed $70 million. Asian media mogul Bruno Wu, who set up a $1.6 billion media fund late last year, will serve as co-producer on the film, seemingly ensuring that the movie will be able to sustain any unplanned budget overruns. Deadline reports that filming is planned for 2017 with Chinese locations and a Chinese cast, though the goal is to make world movies for the world market, according to Kazanoff. The film could even be the basis for a trilogy, the producer says, with a plot that's not at all what you think it will be, a cool surprise. Back in 2014, Kazanoff told the Wall Street Journal that this isn't a movie with a bunch of lines running around the page. We're not giving feel to the geometric shapes. What you will see is Tetris and the teeny tip of an iceberg that is an intergalactic significance. Maya Rogers, CEO of Tetris licensing agent Blue Planet Software, was apparently unable to help herself when announcing the news. Just like playing the game, all the pieces are falling into place with bringing an epic sci-fi thriller based on Tetris to the big screen, she said. I don't even know what the fuck this means.
What the hell?
The worst idea.
Why does it always seem, not always, but like there's so many video game movies that like are done after properties that like I don't understand. Not even video games, something like Monopoly. Like if you hear about a Monopoly movie, like Clue and shit, like what? Why are you choosing these properties for
Clue
movies?
was a great movie.
All right, well either way, I'm just saying like we've got so many great franchises: God of War, BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, Last of Us. Like there's so many, Halo. So many great franchises that could be turned into movies.
Would be a great movie.
Yeah, it would be amazing. And they choose Tetris.
What the hell are they going to do?
And they said,
and not just one movie, three.
Right, three. They already said three, and they said it's not what you're thinking.
I just don't get why it's a science fiction thriller. How did they get that from blocks?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
This is going to be the furthest thing from a Tetris movie. It's just going to be an alien invasion movie with blocks. I don't know.
Yeah, there's going to be some kind of nod.
It was pixels.
Yeah. There's going to be some kind of nod to Tetris, like, oh, if we figure out this puzzle, we can break the mothership. That's some stupid.
It's like the one piece of the movie.
Like Independence Day.
Like Battleship.
Yeah.
Like the only part of that movie that is Battleship is the very last scene.
On the alien technology. It was brilliant.
Is the line "you sunk by Battleship"?
It is.
Oh, you fucking.
It's the very end. They do the grid thing for like 5 minutes. They have the "you sunk my Battleship" line, and that's it.
No, they
otherwise it's just an alien movie on the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
atrocious.
Oh man, what the hell are they doing?
Ugh.
Did anyone watch the last Transformers movie?
No, you were talking about before.
Nothing related, just curious.
I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, holy shit. This movie
what girl is in that one?
Good call.
It's the girl from Last Airbender.
Yeah, she's hot.
She is hot. I'll give her that.
You can't even think about her being hot. The movie is so bad.
It's bad.
It's so fucking bad.
And now they got another one.
It is like a 4-year-old was given a pack of markers and was like, "Why don't you write a story?" And he's like, "The robots and the dinosaurs get so mad and they bang bang." It's so fucking bad, dude.
I saw the one clip of Wahlberg.
There's a giant magnet.
Is that Michael Bay?
Dragon dinosaur.
Bang bang dinosaurs.
Pretty much, man.
It's so bad. He's like, and then we'll get a big magnet to suck up all the dinosaurs. That's how the movie ends. A giant fucking magnet sucks up all the dinosaurs.
No way, you're kidding.
I swear to God. It's so bad.
Oh,
Holy
God.
shid, it's a bad movie.
No, I saw the scene where like the Mountain Dew is or the beers are all over, and he pops open a beer and he's like, "It's a spaceship. You're gonna sue me over a spaceship or something?"
It's so bad, dude.
And then he's like, honey, give me my alien gun.
Say hello to your mother for me.
Holy shit, it's bad.
Oh, man. Well,
Can you send that to me? What was it? It was an actual YouTube
No, it's
video?
no,
it's
Dean just pulled that out of his ass right now.
No, but you
No,
know
that what I was just saying. No, that was me.
Well,
That was
just making it
me
up on the fly.
impersonating the writers of the film.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, let's move on here. That was good. That was classic. All right, on the spot, guys. Oh shit! Let me turn up the volume a little bit here. All right, you guys can submit your questions every week using hashtag on the spot on our Twitter, and you might be selected as a featured question on our Sunday shows. This week, the question comes from Dear the Level Up Show. Which video game character were you most upset to see die? Sincerely, Guitar Freak 12345. Obviously, this question comes with spoilers.
Sure.
So we're gonna do our best to preface each, discussion with this is spoilers for this or whatever. I don't know. Like, I honestly was thinking a lot about this, and I was having a tough time.
Lee from The Walking Dead comes to mind.
Yeah, done.
Spoiler alert! But I feel like that's been long enough.
We gave spoilers.
Yeah. The spoilers were after.
The spoilers for the whole segment. There's obviously going to be spoilers for everything.
I agree. Lee did upset me. That was sad.
Yeah, that was
Yours is obvious to me. I would say obviously Eris.
Yeah, Eris, and as Buddy Doe said, Zach Fair was very sad. And I talked about that a lot on the show. I thought that was so well done because everybody who played Crisis Core knew Zach was going to die, but still they did a great job of making it an emotional gut punch.
Okay, I'm going to hit you guys with 3. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cole McGrath from Infamous.
Yeah, that was really good. That was good. I agree.
Morden from Mass Effect.
Good one.
In Mass Effect 3, that made me cry my eyes out, and there's no possible way to save him. He has to die in Mass Effect 3, which sucks. And then, last but not least, who could ever forget The Last of Us, Joel's daughter dying?
God damn it, that was gonna be mine too. That was extremely emotional.
That was a really good. That was probably
that hit me really hard.
In my game, Greg, you and I talked about that before. You were so shocked that Talia, or not Talia. What was her name? Tally in Mass Effect.
Oh yeah.
She died in my game, and it's really sad. And you go to her homeworld, and there's like a whole memoriam set up, and you have to talk to her parents and shit. And it's bad. It's so sad. Yeah, but she doesn't die in everyone's game. She died in mine, and I went back to the world for a mission, and I was like, oh shit, this is really sad.
Yeah. That's what's so amazing about that series is we had completely different endings. Tally was memorialized, and she became the ruler of her planet in my game.
Yeah.
GFN might be joking a little bit, but I think that's a really great answer. The Journey character, if you consider him dying, I don't know if that's exactly what I would call it. He's transcending more than anything. I'm not sure what to call it, but that really hit me hard.
I thought that was sad, but I found out what was going. I found out what was going on. I thought that was pretty sad.
Yeah, very. Have you ever seen the discussion with Shuhei Yoshida where he breaks down and really, really cries when he's talking with Colin Moriarty and Greg Miller about he connected it with I think his grandmother, and he's talking about how the game meant so much to him, and he dissolves into a sobbing mess.
I've never seen this.
It's really, really touching.
He was on Beyond?
He was on Beyond, yeah.
What game?
Journey? Yeah. Because everybody has a different connection with Journey, but most people associate it with moving on, the afterlife, rebirth, reincarnation. There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but it touches a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It's a really, really great clip.
Well, you could even look at it as kind of like a purgatory thing.
It's
him having to work his way to
prove himself.
Prove himself and move on. And earns the moving.
I look at it more as atonement, and what's sad about it is he's more like a Jesus Christ figure, in my opinion. He's atoning not for his sins, but the sins of his ancestors. That's what I look at it as, and that's what makes it so sad, in my opinion. Let me pause this real quick. Go ahead, Mike. You were going to say something?
No, I was going to say. The daughter of Joel is the big one for me, but actually my second big one is actually Ori and the Blind Forest. In the very beginning,
that was sad.
When you lose the mother figure that you acquire in Nabu.
Yeah.
I can remember. Ori and the Blind Forest. The
You've probably never
music,
seen it. It's really pretty.
there's a lot of things that appeal to it, but it's like it's really hitting, and it's interesting because I like to see that I'm not the only one. So now that I have a daughter, I subject her to what I call emotional torture, just to see if she gets the same reactions that I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I had her sit and we were playing it, and it's right in the beginning, so she was able to sit with me, and all of a sudden she just like you could see her get low in the seat, and it's like right that it's like, it just happened. And I was like, and she hadn't said anything. Normally she's asking me like, what happened here, what happened this, and what's, and I was like, so we're gonna go here. She's like, and I'm like, you okay? And she turns to me and she just like comes over and she's just like hugs me like really tight. So like it really affected her.
Like,
she was really
it's like a sad Disney movie scene. It's like Mufasa dying or something.
Yeah, it was along those lines.
A great answer from Game Killer. I 100% agree. There's only a few games that made me teary-eyed, choke up, and Metal Gear Solid 3, the end with the boss, definitely got me teary-eyed.
Oh, that was with the flowers, right? In the grave.
Yeah, where you have to pull the trigger and kill her at the end. But not even just that, but when you find out that she wasn't actually a villain and that she was this hero that you were manipulated into killing, it hits you really hard.
That was pretty sad.
Shout out.
Ezio's family gets murdered in the beginning.
It's pretty.
When he's still like pretty young.
Hadn't seen that one.
There we go, Derek.
Derek,
you're a dirty
Chloe.
Bastard, because that's not the real way to end the game.
Nope,
No,
that
it's
is
the right
the
way.
real ending.
That's the just way.
I'm
There's
getting
no
off of
right
this topic.
ending, man.
I know.
Shout out
But
to-
that's my ending.
Shout out to the best emotional reversal of a death that I didn't expect to happen when I was playing through a game was Sora in the first Kingdom Hearts. When you
that was
stab
great,
yourself
yeah.
And you get turned into a Heartless. That threw me for a whirl. I did not expect that at all.
That's just so good because of the
that was
scene
cool.
that comes before it with Kyrie coming
finish
to
it?
grab you.
The first
Oh.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh, I didn't know you finished the first
Yeah,
one.
So
Yeah,
life,
first person.
life is strange. She does die.
true. Oh.
Yeah,
Well, it
it
depends.
depends on how you choose the ending.
Well,
She can die or live.
Well, that's the better ending.
In my opinion, the ending where she dies is the much better ending.
False.
Ali and Nino Kuni.
On that, I'm
oh,
with Greg on that one. My ending was the other one. I liked it.
Yeah.
Ollie, you mean? Ali, I'm guessing, was his mother. Was his mother named Ali? That was sad, if that was her name. I'm sure he's talking
What
about
were
the
we talking
mother
about?
from Nino Kuni. That was very sad. And A. Miller had one that I was going to say earlier, but I forgot about. John Marston, man. That was so well done because they fooled me.
Right.
Like, when
didn't
you
think it
have,
was
like,
gonna happen.
3 hours of just spending time with your family and all this kind of stuff, and then they come for you and freaking shoot you 30 times, that was sad.
Right.
He
Except
dies.
then you get
He
to
dies
play as
through
his
the end
son.
of the game.
Oh, you didn't
Oh,
know
you
that?
didn't finish it.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like, you finally...
I told you I've only played like 2 hours.
You
Oh, that's
redeem
right, I forgot about
yourself.
that.
You get back to your family. You have like 3 hours at the end of your family to like give you like an epilogue where like you're having a normal life and everything's peachy keen, and then everybody comes for you at the end, tracks you down, and kills you.
So how is everybody wanting a Red Dead 2 if he's dead?
Well,
Well,
I
it
think it
won't
would be a
be-
spiritual kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the saddest
That's
part
kinda
of Red
That makes
Dead
sense with him
is that the whole
zombie
point of the game is that
DLC.
you're trying to change things for your son. You don't want him to turn into who you were. And
Okay.
it seems like you've done that. You've redeemed yourself. You're being a good father, and then they come and kill you. And because of that, your son becomes so revenge-filled that after the credits end, you control your son to track down the people that killed John Marston, and he becomes exactly what his father didn't want him to be.
So then that could be the sequel.
Well, there was
Potentially.
talk about it, yeah.
It's really, really well done.
I feel like if they did a sequel, it'd be more like a Grand Theft Auto, like.
Ooh, that's another good one. DJ Morrison. Booker DeWitt at the end of Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, that was sad.
That was very sad.
Did you complete Red Dead 2, Greg?
Excuse me?
Did you complete Red Dead?
Yeah, I fucking love that game. That's one of my favorite games of all time.
One final one from me. Spoilers for Final Fantasy IX. The end of that game, some people don't even realize that it happened, but Vivi dies at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's really sad because throughout the game there's this identity thing where Vivi's trying to figure out what he is.
Vivi's my
is he a
boy.
robot? Is he a real being? It's about how do you prove that you exist? That kind of thing. And by the end of the game, you see that he has all this offspring, which kind of implies that he figured out that he was real. But he's writing this letter's being written at the end about how he enjoyed his time together, but you don't ever find out Vivi wrote that letter. So some people don't even realize that he died,
Right.
because he technically was a creation, and they have a shortened life cycle. So when you piece it together, you realize that Vivi died at the end of Final Fantasy IX, and he's writing this letter to Zidane and Garnet, and you have his offspring and whatnot. But it's really sad. It says, "Don't bring that up, Drew." Yeah, it's really sad. So that would be the final one from me. That was a great question. Thank you, Guitar.
Yeah, I
Fan.
like that.
That was fun. All right, let's go to one final commercial break, and we'll come back with spoiler discussion for Uncharted 4: A Thief's End.
Yeah, a lot to contribute.
Yes. Hold on tight. Job 32X will be back in approximately 60 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 122. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So please follow us right now, if you haven't already, at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. And if you want to take the opportunity, do it now to leave, because this is going to be a spoiler discussion for Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. We're going to be going through the entire game.
We went down to 33 viewers already.
Yeah?
Yeah, people tipped.
That's funny. So, yes, this is a spoiler discussion. You guys can come back later on our YouTube, of course. This will be archived there if you do want to see it after you have finished the game. We're going to be discussing every facet. Nothing is being held back here. All right, so let's get the video. In the background, got a little bit of music from Uncharted, which we were just talking about. We thought that the score in this one was really well done.
Yeah, I loved it.
Starting with the beginning, how did you feel about them going with the media res type opening again? We saw that in Uncharted 2, where it started like halfway through the game, and then you go back to the beginning. This did the same thing, with it starting off with you going towards the island on the boat with the storm with Sam. Did you think that was a good way to open?
Loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I like when things open like that in general. Like when you start off with like a mid plot point, and then you work your way up to that. Kind of like in Deadpool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I don't like that it's when it starts off with the ending, but you start off with something like a mid plot point, something like a big moment, like a climax. Then you let us work your way up to that, and then we're all cut up and finish the story.
Right.
I thought it was cool. Yeah.
Did you think it was as good as Uncharted 2's opening?
No.
Well, actually, in general, do you guys think it was the best Naughty Dog opening yet? Because this was a point of discussion. Arne Mayer, who works on Naughty Dog games, said he thought it was the best, even better than The Last of Us.
No, I think The Last of Us opening was the best.
I agree. I think The Last of Us was better.
Yeah, but out of the Uncharted franchise itself, I think 2 was the best opening.
Out of the Uncharted franchise, I think probably 2's opening was better.
Yeah, I think 2's was better, Greg, myself.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think 2's train sequence was better. I think that the part with Sam and Drake, meeting up and escaping from the orphanage and talking about how they found the mother's, remnants, at this mansion. I thought that was really compelling, and that was better, in my opinion, than what followed the train sequence in Uncharted.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that was, in my opinion, that's some of the best stuff from Uncharted 4 was the Sam Drake flashback
Chapter 16,
stuff.
I think it was.
Chapter 16 is one of the best chapters
awesome.
of the game.
Yeah.
Before we jump ahead to that, so this one, Uncharted 4 is so much more story focused, in my opinion, than everything that came before it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that they got a past with all the characters that we've been loving for so long now. Over the course of 10 years, we come to love all these people, and we kind of knew nothing about them. And that's what I noticed as I was playing through this game. I was like, wow, I literally know not a thing about Nathan Drake.
Well, one of the things I liked
Morgan, I should say,
most about Uncharted 3 was that they hinted at Nathan Drake not being who he said he was.
Right.
They didn't give us the full truth, but I was so happy that they went further with that and gave us his past and how he went from Nathan Morgan to Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that was I had goosebumps at that moment.
Yeah.
That was such a beautiful moment. I thought that was really, really cool. And it was such a private thing just between brothers. Mm-hmm. And he was like, we can be whoever we want, man. Let's do it. And he's like, you're serious, aren't you? And then, they commit to it. It's like, oh, that's fucking great, too.
And in honor of your mother, too. That was the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, you were really down on Sam prior to playing the game, and a lot during the game, too, from what we were hearing from you. Yeah. How did you feel at the beginning about Sam when you saw him as a child with Drake?
Hated him.
You hated him as a child?
He abandoned his brother in an orphanage, and then he comes to get him in order to commit grand larceny. So great.
He doesn't abandon him, though.
He comes back and then he leaves him yet again.
He comes back with the idea that he's not going to come to take Drake with him, but we find out in Chapter 16 that they just run away after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he still says, Drake mentions another line when they're going through, I think it's Madagascar when they first get there, and he says a line when they're in the Jeep to Sully, and he's like, oh yeah, me and Drake were always bumping into each other throughout our lives until we went on the big heist again, until we split up on everything. They have a conversation about it amongst themselves, so he was always back in and out of Drake's life. He was just not an honorable, loyal, dependent guy.
Yeah, the thing is, Sam didn't abandon Drake in the orphanage originally. It sounds like, from what you can gather, that he was kicked out. Right? Sam was kicked out. It's not like he chose to leave Drake.
Yeah, but then to only come to him, he could still visit him, I would imagine.
Well, no, I don't think he could.
Not if you're kicked out.
No, I don't think he could come visit him at all. He has to sneak in and sneak him out. I think that it was... That's what I gathered from it.
My one friend got kicked out of their house, and when they got kicked out of their house, they went to like a midway home sort of a thing. I think that's what they're called. And their family, the brother ended up going with the sister who got kicked out of her house, and whenever he was able to go, like blah blah blah, he ended up getting kicked out of the house for drugs, alcohol, what other nonsense. But he was always allowed to go back and visit her. He just wasn't.
Big difference is this is a Catholic orphanage. Like,
right.
I don't think that applies here. I feel like he's done. Like anytime he wanted to come back and see Drake, he had to sneak in.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it. So immediately following the...
Didn't they call the police on him in the orphanage?
Yeah, they would not let him in.
Isn't that what... Isn't that what actually happened in the game?
At the mansion.
Oh, that was in the mansion, okay.
Yeah, so after we have the scene where Sam and Drake escape from the orphanage, we go to the prison. And... I don't know, how long were they in the prison? Like, was this like a long game for them? Where they're in the prison trying to...
It seemed like it. It seemed like it was a long con.
It was a commitment. Like, yeah.
I, for the record, liked Sam.
I agree. I like Sam a lot.
Yeah. I liked him by the end of it. But
I think that was... Yeah, that's what it means. Like, overall, like, did you walk away from it liking Sam?
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, I think a lot of reviews and everything that I was reading about Sam, and especially Tim Geddes was a big proponent of it. I listened to the Kinda Funny SPOILERcast. I know, Kinda Funny. And he said, I think Samuel Drake's character is established as one of the like pivotal, essential characters just from this one game. That I don't agree with at all. Like, I care more about Elena and Sully still than I care about Sam.
Well, see, no, I can't agree with that. Like, I care about them in their scenes, but clearly this was a Sam Drake game than an Elena Drake game.
Yeah.
Elena's literally in, what, 3 chapters?
Yeah, but all 3 of her chapters resonated so well.
Yeah, I agree that in the chapter she's in, she's very important. And obviously that's like a crux of the storyline is the deception.
I feel like you have a desire to love Elena more than the game actually wants you to love Elena.
No, my obsession with Elena is totally justified. I don't want the game, and that's what everyone gets on me.
I'll agree with you, Greg. Clearly, the writers of Uncharted wanted us to be like, holy shit, Elena is the perfect woman by the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where it was almost like a little too much, in my opinion. Like, she's like tackling and snapping necks, and it's like, holy shit, this girl can hold her own. It's like, all right, come on.
I didn't think it was too much. I did think this stuff with Elena was great.
It was.
And great. I liked everything she was involved in. That I agree with Greg on that. That said, I didn't think at all this was supposed to be like I think, yeah, they're going to wrap that story up and they're going to hit those big beats because it's Uncharted and we need to know.
And this is a closure of the franchise.
Like, we need to know what's going on with them. And they were much more open about that than ever before. Yeah. But I think this was totally designed to be a story about Nate and his brother.
Right. And I don't know if it was originally supposed to be that because... What do you guys think? Do you think Sam was originally supposed to be this terrible villain that was locked away for 15 years and wanted revenge?
No. I think Sam's character was supposed to be Rafe.
You think Sam was supposed to be Rafe?
When Amy Hennig was on, I think that's what she was going for.
Yeah, I think Sam was added in. I think Rafe was the guy locked away in the prison for 15 years in Amy Hennig's vision.
I could have seen that. Yeah.
I think that was the original.
That would have made so much sense, especially with the big speech he gives at the end. Like, the great Nathan Drake. Yeah. You did this, and you're really nothing, blah, blah,
He was totally jealous of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he should be. I mean, he's a prick who has $400 million given to him.
To be honest, if that was the case, I don't know what the case was, but to be honest, if that was Amy Hennig's vision, I'm happy that they kicked her off the project and went this route with it because I think...
I agree. I mean, from what I can gather from Amy Hennig's vision, it's kind of funny. I feel like everybody got on Neil Druckmann and Bruce Straley when they joined on. They were like, oh, now it's going to be this dark Uncharted. They're going to darken it up. I think Amy Hennig's Uncharted was going to be darker than Neil Druckmann's and Bruce Straley's.
Yeah. Sounds like
I agree.
Which is so funny. Like, this game is pretty lighthearted at the end. I don't want to skip too far ahead, but I was surprised how happy the ending of this game was.
Me too.
Like, it was not at all down. And we'll get to that later on. But, like, this was not at all, like, an unhappy ending for any character. Okay, so...
Well, one.
Well, I guess the villain.
Even Nadine had a good time. So good for her.
She got away. She freaking got away, which I wonder if they're going to go back to in the DLC. So let's see here. Let's move on. We had the prison sequence. I thought that was really, really cool when they're escaping and he has that jump and then the bullet fire comes across and Sam just spits up that blood. And like he's holding on to him. Like I was like, they sold it for me because when I was watching the trailers originally, I was like, he left his brother for 15 years. He didn't try and track him down at all. It's like, dude, he was shot like 3 times across the chest and like dropped like totally 2 stories. I totally would have bought that.
I didn't question him at all.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I was down
also
for that.
the riot scene before that when they were in like the basement.
Holy shit.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And the dual take the first time when you go to take your melee swing and your brother comes up and you both like choke slam, I was like,
throw
fuck
down.
yes, dude. That was cool as shit.
My
dynamic
favorite part was
interaction
whenever an inmate would choke you, and both Rafe or whoever you were with, Sully, Sam, they would all come and get you out of the struggle. I thought that was such a cool feature too.
That was awesome. The AI was so good.
It really was good.
So much better. It was like improved Ellie.
Yeah, it really was. Game Killer says, Drew, that really got me. He's talking about the Sam scene, but he also talked about Hector Alcazar not being the real villain, being a disappointment. I like that twist, though.
Yeah, me too.
You have a sequence a little later on. You know, Sam comes back to you, of course, and he says, you know, Hector Alcazar is after me for this money because when they were in prison together, Sam and Hector Alcazar, they found out about this, you know, treasure of Henry Avery, this pirate treasure that's supposed to be like $400 million and all this kind of stuff. And Hector helps Sam escape so that he can find this money and they can split it and all this kind of stuff. Of course, we find out later that that's not the full truth. But that sequence in the prison, man, when they're escaping and like it's being set on fire and the bodies are being thrown over the rails, and then when they get outside and like the prison tower explodes,
that was amazing.
Like, that was freaking awesome.
The embers, the like little tiny embers floating throughout the air, that was fucking great.
And I figured they would give us one chapter where we played as Sam, and I didn't think they disappointed on that regard.
Yeah,
I thought it was a cool chapter. What did you think, Greg?
Yeah, I was shocked when when I took control of Sam that chapter. I thought that was a really cool feature. Not the character I wanted to take control of, to be honest with you, but it was cool.
Who did you want to take control as?
I'll give you one guess.
Not Elena. I wanted to take control of Sully at some point because I thought they were going to build him up more in this game, or I thought we were going to take control of one of the villains at some point in the game.
Yeah, Sully was underused
Very
overall,
much so.
in my opinion.
Very much so. If you didn't fucking kill him like you were planning on in the third game, and you brought him back after that fucking drug hallucination, whatever, he should have been a bigger feature in this game. And then bullshit.
I disagree. I thought he was perfect. I love how he left for so long and then came back in a Han Solo type moment to save the day. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle of you guys. Like, I don't think he should have been that much more, but I think a little more attention. Like, really, he was involved in the
heist scene.
The heist scene, which was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was super great. It was. And then he was in the car in like Madagascar, and like that was pretty much it. And for this being the last one, I don't know. Like, I just thought there could have been a little bit more of them.
That
just
was one of my biggest.
That heist scene was a pretty pivotal part, and that's like the start of the traveling, I guess you could say. Like, to go in order, it starts with them going to this auction and trying to steal this not a crucifix, it's a cross that has a hint, a clue, or whatnot. But that scene is so different than anything that came in Uncharted before it, and I was grinning from ear to ear the entire couple chapters.
Awesome.
Like, just it felt like Ocean's 11 or like something like that.
How sick is that, dude? When you're fighting, and then he's like, shit, and he gets thrown off, and you have to scale the building.
Yeah.
And then they first show you the rope thing, and I didn't expect it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the next platform, probably make my way into the building. But they take you all the way around, and then it kind of goes into the cutscene.
Yep.
And you slam through the glass window. I was like, fuck
and then it
yes,
seamlessly goes into
cool.
combat. But even prior, and that was a cool Nadine fight scene too, where she's beating the shit out of him, which was really fun.
Awesome. The banter
was right
really
there.
great.
Nadine's fucking awesome. I think
she was cool.
She was cool.
The reason why I love her so much is, first of all, as the Uncharted series goes as a whole, not the best villains in the slightest. You had Roman Navarro, who I always fucking combine their names, but those were two separate people from Drake's Fortune, who everybody fucking forgets. Everybody only remembers Eddie Raja, who fucking goes down in a blaze of glory. Uncharted 2, you had Russian man drinking blue water, and then you had Uncharted 3, Marlowe, who was completely underutilized, I thought. And then
she was probably one of the cooler ones.
And then
I think, my opinion, Rafe and Nadine are the best villains.
I agree. Yeah.
But I think Nadine more so because she has her. Not only does she fucking get to be a villain, quote unquote, in this game, but she's in it for her own motivations just as much as she's in it for Rafe. Like, she's just he's like side bitch.
You can't separate the two. The two together is what makes it work so well. But I will say, overall, I thought Rafe was a really compelling character because he's a sociopath. Yeah, like he's scary, dude. Like, he's really like he's kind of like a David from Last of Us or something like that. Like, he's like a messed up guy. When you have that again, I don't want to skip forward too much, but that final boss fight when he just fucking goes off the handle, like, that was scary. Like, the way he looks there and whatnot.
That was my favorite line in the entire game. On guard, dickhead.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck yes.
Going back, though, I want to talk about the heist scene again, because prior to the Nadine stuff, when you have the auction scene and, like, you know, you got Drake trying to show off the power and you've got Sam dressed up as a waiter, and it all comes together in that scene where, like, they're about to, like, you know, give the cross to Rafe because he's, you know, betting the most money, and then Sully says, "Let's ruin this dickhead's day," or something like that.
Yeah.
And the power goes down. I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is so good. Like, fuck you, Rafe. Like, this is so good. I loved it. I thought that was so great.
Yeah, it was great, man.
So following that, I think it went to Scotland, right?
Yes.
Which was a very different environment.
I think so, right? Yeah, you go from Italy to Scotland.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was like very different, very drab, but not in a bad way. Like, because you have a lot of colorful locations.
It was great. I love the different palettes. That was one of my biggest highlights of the game. Like we just said, you go from where you go to the prison, and where was the prison?
Prison was I'm not
Central
sure.
America somewhere.
I feel like it was like Spain or something. I don't know.
Something like that. And then from that to Italy, to Scotland, to like these like crazy tropical like pirate islands. It was awesome.
All over the place.
Madagascar. It was really.
What was great about the Scotland portion is I thought that the rock sliding was the coolest there, and it was very impressive from a technical standpoint as well. Like how the rocks would slide down, and you could even shoot it if you wanted to. You could shoot an individual rock, and it would cause like a little rock slide. Yeah. I thought that was really really cool from a technical aspect.
The attention to detail. I don't know. Do we even need to like get into like?
I mean, we've said it on previous shows, but it's the best looking game that we've seen yet on any console.
So, what did you guys think about the new additions to the gameplay mechanics, the slide and the rope? Yeah,
that's what I think Scotland was one of the best examples of that. A lot of rock slides, to grappling and swinging around, and it also showed the openness in some ways. Like you have multiple ways to get through some of those areas, and that comes back especially later on in Libertalia. But the Scotland was the first example of that, and I also like as you're going through it how it's gradually starting to snow more and more, and you've got really great shots, of the environment and the mountains, and I thought it was great. I really liked the rope mechanic overall. I thought that both of them added just a little bit, of a change.
I like them. I like them both. The rope mechanic was the biggest. New highlight for me. I thought the rope was super cool.
Yeah. What about you, Greg?
Scotland was where I started to see The Last of Us written all over this game. Like,
definitely.
in the way, boost me up, I'll get you here. Or, oh my god, we have to get a crate now from that top shelf in order to get us up on top of the ledge. Like little stuff like that. The crate got very annoying to me because just like in The Last of Us, it's like really there's at one point you're in the fucking tombs in Scotland in the middle of nowhere. Everything else is crumbling around you, and there's like, but there's an iron box over there we can hook onto. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I agree 100%. It's one of those things where it's Naughty Dog, and it should be like a good thing in a way that their games are so good that when you have that one little thing that's off, it's so obvious. Yeah. It's like an Uncanny Valley type thing. It's 100%. Even more so, I think in Libertalia, it really threw me off that where Sam disappears for a moment. And there just so happens to be a crate up there. But on top of that, the fact that the rope is with you throughout the entire game, but Sam couldn't throw down his rope to you instead of trying to find this random crate. I like that the rope was added, but it added also a little bit of it added a problem. It just, from a plot hole standpoint almost, where it's like you have this rope on you at all times. There's a lot of scenarios where you could have used this rope to get up here or help this person get to there, and you didn't use it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't go in for that
argument. I'm nitpicking.
Because it is like, I mean, we're going to believe, if we're going to buy in half of the shit that's happening in this game, like, it is a video game. You need to understand that there needs to be innovations in gameplay. Sure. So, like, what are you going to do? You could say that for anything. You could say that for, like, I don't know, like, from Infamous 1 to Infamous 2, like, oh, you couldn't shoot those lightning balls before, huh? Like, you have to, dude. Like, it just changes.
Well, the only thing that sucks about this mechanic coming in so late to the series is, number one, Drake's older, and now all of a sudden he's fucking swinging from everything in the world. I love the rope swing. I thought it was an awesome addition to the game. My only problem with it from a plot point perspective was the fact that they let Drake use it with Sam as a kid. Because then I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense now. Because if they did it when Sam came back and he's like, oh, Drake, look at the new trick I learned or something, that would have made so much more sense to me than Drake learning.
See, I'm with Dean on that one. I don't agree with that. Like, this is a video game and they had
But Drake would have used it for 1, 2, and 3. All of a sudden he's like, all right, Sam, I forgot you taught me about that grappling hook when we were 10.
It's as simple as saying he didn't have a grappling hook with him in 1, 2, and 3. Like, it's just, that's a suspension of disbelief kind of thing there.
So it's just too small of a thing for me to like.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's a game. There needs to be
improvements.
Yeah, upon gameplay mechanics.
That's like an issue that I have. Like if they were to go back in time, and all of a sudden he has new tech, that they never had before. But like when you keep progressing a game, in order to make it new and unique, even a game like this, you have to add new elements
Sure.
You know, you can't keep giving this.
There's a couple people taking that old Drake standpoint, like, oh, he's flying all around, he's kicking ass, he's the oldest he's ever been. I actually think from the way they advertised the game to the point that the game launched is like it seemed like they were really going for that like old man Drake, like when he would like land off of a jump, he'd like kind of stumble, like but like I didn't get that. I got this as like he came back and like he was kind of at the top of his game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I didn't get the old man impression.
I didn't either. I thought that I'm with you. I thought that it was going to be more like Old Man Drake, but I think the stumbles and stuff like that were more just a testament to them improving the animations.
Right.
Like if he, depending on how high the jump was, like he would do like a little like put his hands on the ground and move, or he would just flat out like fall and like he would take a second to get up. That was just like them saying, you know, it's more dynamic.
Sure, yeah.
Depending on how high you jump from, the animations are going to adjust accordingly, and I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the grappling hook was especially cool in the final chapters when you just had all these different ways to go about killing these enemies, and you could just swing around and punch them.
That never got old, dude.
Yeah, it never got old. It really didn't. Some of the coolest GIFs I've seen online are people that found insane ways to use the grappling hook, like jumping off of like a huge tower and then grappling and swinging and like
it's insane.
Like there's really cool ways to go about all these different combat arenas. It's by far the best that combat has been in Uncharted.
I had one minor, not even complaint, just a suggestion, I guess, is the stealth is great. Right. I used the stealth a ton. I thought the stealth was tighter than it's ever been. I just wish there was some kind of a way to draw attention.
Yeah, like knock on something to get them coming.
Because like if you were taking a stealth approach, and even in a couple of times the game prompts you to like try and stay stealthy this time, and you're like, cool. But then like you get to a certain point, like you could be waiting there an hour waiting for these guys to move. You have no way to cause them to want to move or like distract them or something like.
One of the best ways I saw that in games was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. What they gave him was a whistle.
Exactly.
So when he was hiding in bushes, they would whistle. They'd be like, "Wait, what? Like what?"
It's just such a common stealth tactic. Every stealth game has it for the most part.
Or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got the bottles in The Last of Us. They used it in that. So it's just kind of weird that they didn't incorporate something like that into
this game.
That was
my only one thing that kind of stood out.
What I would use though for those scenarios, Dean, is I don't know if you guys notice this at all, but whenever I'd be hiding, whenever I got to a scenario, I would mark everybody. I would literally just aim and I would tap L3 or R3, whatever it was, to mark like no other.
Same here.
The whole map. And the best part, my best scenarios and combat sequences of the game were when I would be hiding in fucking tall bushes, and then all of a sudden Elena, Sully, Sam, whoever the fuck I was with, would be like, Drake, look over there, and then they would mark somebody I forgot to and
that
fucking snap their neck for
me. Yeah, that was really cool. I agree.
I was like, that's insane to me.
Again, I couldn't help but be taken out a little bit though when Elena was snapping necks.
Yeah,
I was like, she's snapping necks, like she's just killing people willy nilly like this. That was kind of weird, but it's a game. I was gonna say.
That was cool, though. I really appreciated that. Like you said, that was a really cool addition to the AI.
The combat was so good in this one. We talked about it on the last show. The combat was so good that it actually made me miss it during some of the scenes.
Yeah.
Where they would go like 3-4 chapters of just like traversal and exploration. I was like, all right, come on, give me some more combat stuff here. That's one of my few gripes with the game is they could have had a little bit more.
Maybe one more small skirmish and then one more big battle.
Yep.
And that would have been perfect.
I think there was only like 1 4-chapter stretch where they're like, there should have been one more combat arena in there just to break it up a little bit.
I agree.
I think it was towards the end that they needed a little bit more from the combat side of things. Because it was so good. It was really, really well done in this game.
While you're talking about the traversal, though, the improvements with the sliding, adding that into like the mid jumps while you're just hitting X to climb up stuff on the wall, I thought that was a really awesome feature. And then I think they introduced the peg that you get way too late.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
I never felt like I got the hang of it.
I almost forgot about it until you just said it. Honestly.
I loved the peg.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It reminded me so much of Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like that was maybe even inspired. GFN brought up the journal. The journal is really cool in this one and much more interactive than it was in previous games, where you can go throughout it and see little scribbles that Nate wrote, and it just added character to the game.
I thought it was awesome when you would see something in the world and you would see him physically draw a sketch of it, and the journal was fucking crazy.
I love when he would draw it though, and he would annotate like how I would caption like an Instagram photo. Like he would annotate, like Sam would be like, "Oh, Sam said this," or like when Sam. One of my favorite ones is when they get to, what is the Libertalia? When they get to Libertalia for the first time, and Sam goes into the guillotine. I don't know if you guys got this scene.
I don't think I did actually.
And Sam, you're walking around, and there's an optional conversation where there's a guillotine set up, and Sam goes, "Oh, Drake, look at me," and he puts his head in it. So Drake sketches him out, and Sam goes, "Oh, what are you drawing me? At least make me look good." And he draws Sam out, but he makes it look like a fucking goblin, and he shows it to Sam, and Sam starts dying laughing. He's like, "You're crazy." I'm like,
See, that's awesome. I wish I got that.
That is
But
cool.
I love that,
again,
dude.
that's what makes these games so cool, especially this one in particular. Is they took those inspirations from The Last of Us with the optional conversations, but conversation in general, we talked about it on the last show once again, but let's talk about it again. Dynamic conversations, where Madagascar, I think, is the best example of that, where you're riding around and you do a little side quest like going into the well, and it interrupts a story, but then you get back into the car, and they don't just start it up quickly, they bridge into it. Like Sam will go, "Hey Sully, finish that story for me. What were you talking about there?" Like, it's not just like, MP3 ended, well, MP3 begin again.
Right.
Like, they incorporated it. They found a way to make it all work seamlessly. And that's something that I feel like Naughty Dog, it shows how they're above and beyond everybody else in storytelling.
I'd be very curious to find out how complex or how easy it is to code that to work.
It has to be hard because Naughty Dog is the only one doing it.
Exactly. That's
or it's just that nobody else thought of it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
Naughty
thing.
Dog
That's
was
what I
the
would like
first one to
know.
think of it.
Drew, back to your point though, really quick. I loved. This was my favorite AI feature of the entire game. I thought when you would take like the winch, for example, and when you go into that well, that's one of the most perfect examples of it, and you would winch the thing up, I thought I would have to climb back up, start the Jeep, and pull it myself. I loved the fact that you could do that, and then Drake would automatically call up to Sully or Elena, whoever was driving the car, and be like, "Yo, can you pull this for me now? It's all hooked up," and they would start the car and do it without you having to traverse all the way back.
It makes it feel like a movie.
Yeah.
And that was the thing is, my mother-in-law was here all week, helping us with the baby and whatnot. And she watched me probably play like 2-3 hours, just kind of, glancing up and down. And she's just like, this is like, I feel like I'm watching Indiana Jones. Like, this is, there's never a moment where it's just like boring for somebody who's watching.
No, it was crazy.
You could always you could watch this as if it's a movie. You really could, almost every step of the way.
Jen kind of was it, like I had mentioned a couple times. She was keeping tabs on the story.
Yep.
She knew what happened. She knew what was going on in the
Yep.
story. Like, just from sitting down 15, 20 minutes here and there. And she came back in the end. She was like, "Oh, what happened? It was like his brother bad. Did Ray turn bad?" Like, she was on it, dude. Like, it was compelling.
I want to go on that in a moment about Sam being bad and like how you felt about it. But first, I wanted to go back to the winch real quick. I feel like I don't want to gloss over because that, in some ways, I like just as much as the rope and the grapple and the Python and all that kind of stuff. I just liked how he would put it behind his back and the animation of it all. I guess that was what I liked the most about it. It's just how it works so well within the environment and the animations.
Cool the way you had to you had to be conscious of it, like you had to jump over it.
Yeah.
To get back to the car.
And did you guys during the scene where the car falls off the cliff? I was doing that scene, you moving the winch, and I was like, I don't want it to go around this rock here. I was actually trying to find a way to make it not go around the rock because my mind thinking physically, I was like, this isn't a good idea. And then the scene happens, and the rock starts falling off, and I was like, holy shit, they planned this whole thing.
Yeah, I tried it a few times.
Because you can't do it. Yeah. But it's so cool that they put that there for that reason, and it worked the way physically it should work. And I was just like, God damn, Naughty Dog. You think of everything, and you find a way. It's such a small thing, too. It's like a 5-minute scene in Madagascar, but it added this really cool set-piece moment. A really cool, small set-piece moment.
I also think the scene, how Greg had mentioned how they would just do it, the scene with the elevators and Elena.
With Elena, yeah.
And the one you go, you're used to them being like, I got it, when you're used to it. And the one you go as far as start the elevator and you go to tie it around the thing. And she's like, I got this one. It's already done. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. I know.
That was crazy.
That's really smart design from Naughty Dog because they probably were maybe focus testing or whatnot, and they realized, no, let's not have them do this twice. Let's not have this be redundant. Let's speed things along here and just have Elena do it on the side.
Yeah.
And it not only does it speed up and improve the pacing, but it also makes it feel like Elena is her own character doing her own thing in all these scenes.
My favorite character interaction of all time was when you split up with Sam, and he goes off for the treasure, and then it's you, Elena, and Sully, and Elena and Sully fuck, and Drake's like, I fucking told him, I'm leaving him behind, blah, 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 and they're like, Drake, we're going after him, we are. And when you go after him, and you have to push that one card up, and you start doing it originally by yourself, and then you're pushing, it's going so fucking slow, and you're like, what the fuck, dude? All of a sudden, Elena and Sully come running up behind you. They're like, we got you, Drake. Like, no worries. Yeah. And they both start. That was my favorite. I'm like, that's just amazing. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me physically how they both. Like, it just, I don't get how it makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me.
This is one of those where I'm like, you know, I often go back, get trophies and this and that, and this is when like I'm so eager to play again.
Yeah.
Just to experience it again and like see the optional things I miss and this and that. And, like, I'm not doing it like I'm getting all the other trophies first before I do my crushing playthrough. Yeah, because I want to experience it like I did the first time. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. I'm going to get every trophy I possibly can and then play it through start to finish and just like take it in. Dude.
Yeah. Speaking of replayability, I was kind of nervous when I started back up on crushing. I'm like, you know, like is the opening going to be slow? There's not a lot of combat, you know, and I'm playing it and I'm not skipping any cutscenes. No, I'm watching everything. I'm enjoying everything. Like it's still great the second time through. Like, and I'm enjoying it just as much as the first time, if not more. Like I'm taking it all in a different way. So I feel like it does have replayability. In a lot of
Unreal to me how the engine is cutscene and then it just goes right.
Because it's all real time. It's not pre-rendered this time around.
It was like Last of Us, where I was just like, this, it's shocking. It's physically shocking. But even The Last of Us had, like, cutscenes. Like, this is just, like, it happens. So there were so many times where I was like, shit, I didn't realize I had control of Drake.
Batman Arkham Knight was the first this gen that I saw to really start doing that. And then this one perfected it.
Yeah.
Big time. Like, it's crazy how seamless it is.
So we were on Madagascar, which was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I think it's the best looking area of the game, in my opinion.
I thought the pirate alcove when you were sailing in.
That's what I was going to bring up next, because that's the following chapter.
Yeah.
And that was like a 1-2 punch there, like where you're like, okay, here's my exploration chapter where it's going to be real open, and then they go into the next chapter, and it's again like another really open location where you're on the sea and and you got all these different little islands that you can stop on and find treasures.
Actually, you know what? No, Madagascar probably was the best looking. Yeah. In retrospect, I'm just thinking when I first came in the Jeep and I stopped and I got out and I walked up to the cliff on the left side.
That's the thing. It's
shit,
all
man.
like there. Like you can get out and you can travel that entire environment on foot if you want. Like it's the draw distance is unbelievable. Like
to get back to the boat stuff though. Underwater stuff in this game, one of the best underwater experiences ever in gameplay. It was quick, it was fast, it was easy. When Drake started to lose his health, and then when he would come up from the water, if you were under there for a long time, he would gasp like he was literally choking. He'd be like, like it was amazing.
And not just that, just the way they incorporated it into the treasure hunting. And just like it kind of felt like Black Flag in a way, where it's like you could just stop and get off the boat anytime, dive into the water. And what's really cool is you could jump in, or you could get up on the top port, and he would like dive in. Yeah. Like there was different animations depending on how you got into the water. You would go around, you would swim, you go to islands, you get back on the boat. Sam would drive the boat to you if you got too far away. All dynamic like that.
Did you get the dolphins?
No, I don't think I did.
The dolphins were awesome.
There's a trophy for getting these dolphins to follow your boat.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
You'll see it. You go and you find the one, and then he's like, "Hey, look, a dolphin." And then the second one, and it's like, you have seen dolphins before. Then you get the third one, and as you're going along the island in the boat, all 3 dolphins are like sailing alongside of your boat. It's fucking crazy, dude.
And going back to the water thing, I wish there was actually even more of it, because it improved the gameplay even further. But once you get to the final chapters and you start using underwater stealth, and you're going around underwater, avoiding bullets coming through the water and climbing up, like I thought that was so cool. Like,
it was awesome.
To utilize the water in that way.
Video games in general are getting much more savvy with underwater segments. Yeah, I've been seeing, especially this generation. It's been, and this was the best. I think it was again kind of funny. Tim Geddes said this is the best use of underwater anything. I totally agree. Yeah, I think this is easily like I dread. Anytime I see water when the cutscene ends, I'm like, fuck.
Yep.
And this was like great.
Yeah, it used to be that way. Water levels were the worst.
Yeah.
You know, Water Temple
as much as I
and
love
Zelda.
Kingdom Hearts. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts, my least favorite world was Atlantica. It was so clunky. It was like, the combat was just awkward as fuck. This was so amazing because it was so fast-paced. And that's what I loved about all the new additions. Like the grappling hook, the sliding, all of it was just quick. Like it wasn't like, fuck, I'm sliding down another mountain. It was like, fuck, I'm sliding. Where the fuck do I have to go? What am I jumping to? Like shit, I need to think about my situation.
I talked about this with Dean earlier. I think it might have been maybe even before we went live. But I want to jump back to Madagascar for a moment because we got the full 15-minute Madagascar chase that you're seeing on screen right now prior to the game releasing. And after I played the game, I realized that they really did themselves a disservice by showing us that scene. Yeah. That is by far the best set piece in the game. And I felt like when I was playing it, I was like, I already saw this. It's really cool that I'm controlling it right now, but I saw this. And if I hadn't seen that, I would have been jaw open, like on the floor.
I thought I actually thought the clock tower was my favorite.
The clock tower is awesome.
Clock tower is really
It
cool.
really is cool. I agree the clock tower was awesome. But
the clock tower is the one where Nadine and you are falling through each tier of the building.
No, it's just you and I think
it's Ollie,
right?
And you're ringing the bells, and then the big bell at the top just starts falling, and you're like grappling and grabbing on the cogs. And
oh, my favorite was the Nadine one with Sam.
That was cool. How like they're fighting inside and like they're pushing through the walls and whatnot as you're traveling.
Piece of the game, and you're falling through the tiers, and you're trying to help fucking Sam, and then you're climbing. But as you're climbing around the building, you're seeing them still fight each other. Oh, it was beautiful. Dude.
No, this was the one you had to match the 4 bells with like the 4 I think
Scorpio, Leo, Taurus,
and you're on the cogs, right?
And then when it crumbles and like it's not the same where you just like fall. You have to like fall and like climb on things that are falling. Yeah. This is fucking cool.
And immediately following that, I thought it was a really cool puzzle down below with the taking the pictures
and
was
awesome.
Texting them to Sam. And
that whole scene, that was your big like. That was my biggest like Drake Sully time was like when he was solving those puzzles, all the banter back and forth. That whole sequence was really cool.
And a lot of people look at this game and they're like, it doesn't have like the set pieces like Uncharted did. But I think people are just not looking at some of these moments. Like I consider that a whole sequence a set piece, in my opinion.
It's
like
just
the tower to that's all a set piece. It doesn't have to be like this, building crumbling or I don't know, like the train sequence in Uncharted 2. Like those are set pieces too, but I don't.
But I mean, you got that. I feel like in spades, and you get the clock tower, you get the truck chase, you get, in my opinion, the opening of the game, the boat scene with all the crazy storm and all the boats coming at you, and then you get the giant boss fight on the fire-filled pirate ship. It's pretty fucking crazy set pieces.
Before we get to that, we were talking about Sam a little bit, and if we thought he was going to be bad. Now, the game does intentionally, I think, set up a few moments, one of them being the one part where Sam gets on top, and he's like, let me look for a crate, and then Nate starts calling out to him, like, Sam, where are you? And Sam doesn't answer, and I don't know about you guys, but I imagine you did the same thing I did, and you're like, I wonder who Sam who's talking to right now. Maybe he's like radioing Rafe, and they're planning something in the background. Like, were you guys like that, where you thought Sam was bad?
No, I didn't think it was bad. I was expecting a betrayal of some kind at some point in this game.
I was expecting a betrayal, but I did not expect it to be Sam in the slightest. That's why I fucking hated him.
It's not. The thing is, like, I don't look at it as a betrayal in the same sense as like all the other Uncharted's were. Like, this was not so much a betrayal. It was more like a brother wanting to finish like what they started together, and wanting so badly to have it happen that he was willing to lie to the brother.
Yeah, I agree.
It was about closing off a relationship. Like they did this whole thing, and they were invested in Henry Avery not because they wanted the treasure or whatnot. They wanted Henry Avery's treasure because the mother was invested in finding Henry Avery's treasure, as we found out in chapter 16. But once you get that chapter, which immediately follows finding out that Sam betrayed you, I like that they did it immediate, because it's like, okay, I understand now. I understand Sam. I understand why he did this, because he wanted him and his brother to find this together. It was very important to them as a kid because their mother was looking towards this as well.
You said that made you feel like more, like that made you closer to Sam?
Yes.
That made me more angry at him.
See, I disagree.
See, Rick nailed my thing in the chat.
Wait, what?
What were you saying? Go ahead, Greg. Finish. I'll say after you.
Okay, when he takes Drake, like when he's in and out of Drake's life his whole entire life, up until whatever, he disappears for 15 years, and then he finds out that Drake has this whole other life. And that was all he ever told his brother that he wanted for him. Like, why wouldn't... The lie that he tells Elena throughout the whole game, it just doesn't make physical sense to me. Like, I'm just like, tell her. She's done this with you 3 other fucking times before. And then when I found out that Sam lied to him about the whole fucking chapter where he and Hector fucking escaped together and he's after him for the treasure, I was like, that's just fucking dirty, man. I'm like, you knew I had a life. You knew, like, a brother wouldn't do that. And that's why I was so hurt by it.
a bad thing towards the story, though. Like, I think Nate made a mistake, but it's a believable mistake. He thought that that's something Elena would have been upset about, and I understand why he would have thought that. He didn't realize at that point in their marriage that Elena was also feeling this. I don't like the relationship was getting boring, like their life was getting boring. Like, I don't think Nate realized that. So when he went off to do this thing, I think he wanted to keep it secret.
They just made him the typical misogynistic asshole, though. And, like, I was doing this all to protect you. Like, I don't need your fucking protection. I did this 3 other times.
Well, again, he was lying to himself there. Elena calls him out on it. He was lying to himself.
Which I'm so
Nate
happy
is
about.
a flawed character. We all know that. But what I like about this one in particular is Sam really represents what Nate used to be.
That was my big point. Is Rick actually said Nate lied before like that.
Yes.
And that's why I was expecting something from Sam, because they're of the same blood. And I was like, they're obviously, like, Sam's obviously a flawed guy just like Nate is. So I didn't think he was going to be, like, full-blown the villain. But
neither did I. But I was hurt more by his betrayal because I got so close to him. Like,
I was expecting something, though. Like, I definitely knew somewhere along the line, okay, like, he's hiding something, he's leaving something out.
Yeah.
He's gonna leave or something. Like, I knew something was coming. I didn't know what.
I really liked, though, as well, that Sam never really redeems himself for that. Like, he admits at the end, like, he's got problems. Like, even after they get Henry Avery's treasure, it's like, I still don't feel fulfilled. Like, I still need to keep doing what I'm doing. Like, you got past this already, Nate. Which was kind of surprising, because I remember in all the previews and whatnot, like the heads and tails and whatnot, we all thought that was going to be Nate's story in this game. That he was going to have to make this decision between treasure hunting and Elena. But it wasn't really. Like, Nate had already made his decision. Like, he was okay with the life that he chose, like, to let treasure hunting behind, to be with Elena. It was Sam that pulled him out of that, and Sam was the one who was so obsessed with getting this treasure, and so much so that he was willing to put his little brother in danger, and not even just in danger, but to ruin his marriage potentially. Which I agree, that was frustrating and made me angry with Sam. But I'm just saying that I understand it all. Like, I thought they did,
and I 100% understand that. My favorite interaction, the back and forth as you're walking around Libertalia after you're going after Sam, is when Elena finds one of my favorite stories of the Uncharted series. I just thought, like, I got angry at that character at that moment, but I'm just saying that's like a testament to the story, if anything, that they made me feel that.
I think you feeling anything towards that character bodes well for what they did.
That's what I mean, and I 100% understand that. My favorite interaction, the back and forth as you're walking around Libertalia after you're going after Sam, is when Elena finds you, you meet up with Sully, and Sully saves you, and then you guys go through that little thing where Sam's like, all right, I'm going after the treasure, and you're like, fuck, and then Drake's walking through the houses, and he's just like, why would he do this? Like, he's so stupid, he's so naive, like, the treasure's not worth it, and I'm like, Drake, it's you, like, you're talking about yourself.
He grew up. Drake grew up.
That was a cool little moment, though, to where you as the player realize, like, that he did grow up, because, like, that was you.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sam didn't have the fortune that Drake had to not be in 15 years in prison.
Right.
Imagine being 15 years in prison, letting that obsession build towards this treasure. Like, that's all he had for that how many years. So I think that explains a lot why Sam was the way he was. Real quick, I wanted to ask you guys, like, did you think that Elena was dead during that one scene? No. They definitely tried to trick you, because I think everybody expected it might happen. Would Elena die? Would Sam be the one to push Drake towards coming back? And then as a result, this is the huge consequence.
You're talking about after the mummies?
And like, she's laying down and he's covering her and she's not responding.
That was my favorite scene of the entire game. Number one, because I finally got to see Drake and Elena about to have sex until the explosions cut them off. Number one, that made me so happy. And number two, what did I always say was my biggest problem with this game? There's a cursed treasure and someone gets a fake out death. And the fact that they made that moment, like, haha, like, got you back, like, it was just such a big relief for me, because number one, there wasn't a cursed treasure, which I thought was so amazing. I'm so happy they didn't go that route. And then two, that the fake out death moment was such a cliche of 1, 2, and 3, and then Elena, like, laughed about it. I'm like, yes, it made my life.
I liked it too. It was a good fake out. Real quick, thank you so much to Dustin DeLone Gunman for 18 months of subscription.
Why did you go off?
It did. It just didn't make like a loud noise
thank you,
that we could hear. Thank you so much, man. You're awesome. So I thought that was really cool. But we were just talking about the mummy thing. I think that's the worst part in the whole game.
The exploding mummies.
Exploding mummies.
It was a little frustrating.
It got so repetitive. Like, how many times can I go through?
Because there was nowhere for you to fucking go.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't roll out of the way. No matter what. I was like, cool, I'll roll back here.
Did you guys die or something?
Huh?
Did you guys die a lot or something?
I died once. I'm not saying that.
I didn't die. I just thought it was annoying.
I just thought it was bad game design.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You fall down a slide like I think 4 or 5 times into exploding mummies. You roll out of the way, and that's it. And like that's a whole like chapter. Like it really slowed things down tremendously.
Oh, I don't know. I don't agree.
I thought it was the worst chapter by far.
I did not think Elena was going to die. I didn't think Nate was going to die or Elena was going to die, honestly. I was surprised. The only thing I was honestly very surprised of is there were no pirates of any kind.
Yeah.
I thought there were for sure going to be, not like ghost pirates or anything, but like modern day pirates like guarding the treasure or some shit. Like,
That was
I was
awesome
really shocked that there was no pirates.
Wasn't it cool though how they made the relationship of Henry Avery and Thomas Tew connect into what was happening presently with them as well, like this rivalry, trying to hold on to this treasure. I thought that was cool. It humanized the pirates and gave them, I thought, a really cool treasure story. Yeah. But it also related to what was happening presently with with Rafe, Sam, and Nate. I thought that was really great storytelling there. So we just to get to the end now. We had the pirate ship. You find Henry Avery's treasury. Rafe is also on a mission to find it, and you have that final boss battle in the fire.
Swashbuckling showdown. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was the best boss battle that Uncharted's had.
It seems to be the only really polarizing part of the game.
Yeah, a lot of people disliked it. I did.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too.
I thought it was great. It was my favorite boss battle in any Uncharted game. I think it was a fantastic way to go out.
It was visually just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
It solidified Nadine as my favorite villain of the whole series because that shows you not only is she a strong female character, that scene where Rafe slaps her and she looks at him and she's like, oh.
Yeah, that was actually super awesome.
I was like, that's amazing that they got to complete Nadine and Rafe's story too. And then right at the end, Drake's like, come on, Nadine. And I'm like, oh, maybe she's going to turn good. And the fact that she locks them all in there, she's like, fuck all of you. Like, you're all crazy. I can't deal with you anymore. And goes up on her own.
Did she lock them in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did lock them in?
Yeah.
I love
they would have
that
left.
Well, the way she seemed to play it off was like, because he was like, I'm not leaving you here to die. I'm just leaving you here.
Yeah.
And then
I
think took it as like they could have left, but Sam was stuck, so Nate didn't leave.
Maybe
Rafe wasn't going anywhere, obviously, because he wanted the treasure and wanted to kill Nate.
Well, that was what was so good about that scene is that was when you realize, holy shit, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, he's
like when Rafe, like his hair is like Joker, like style to the
cool
side,
fucking
and
hair.
Like, like he looks psychotic.
It's pretty cool.
And he wants to kill Drake like so bad. He's so jealous of him, and I thought everything was so cool in that scene. And going back to like the idea like who's gonna die in this game? Is anybody gonna die? Of course, Sam gets trapped by the pillar, and you've got the scene where it's like, okay,
they were gonna kill him.
Sam might die here. Greg, did you think Sam was going to die?
I thought Sam was going to die.
I thought Sam was going to die.
But that was what I thought was so good about the ending is it was almost a twist for him not to die.
Yeah, it was.
Because like Nate was, Nate's there and Sam's telling him to leave and whatnot. And Nate just refused to leave. Like he just kept looking around like, what can I do? And I just thought it was so clever to like use the cannon to blow a hole in the water to lift the pillar. Like Nate's a hero. Like it's just, it's awesome. So cool that he did that.
It was good. He was given, I was talking about this with, I think it was Rick. He was given that speech, how he was like, Nate, listen, like, I've lived a great life, blah, blah, and like, when, in any form of media, when a character starts giving that speech, you're like, oh, see ya, you're done. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit, Sam's dead, that's fucking crazy.
This is going to be the one character that
dies.
And
they didn't. I was like, holy shit, dude, he got him out.
It was shocking awesome. How happy the ending was.
Yeah,
no main character died.
It was cool.
Except Rafe, if you want to consider that.
And that was the most Uncharted way to end it.
Yeah.
Which I was super happy with. I was like,
me
good,
too.
Dude.
But of course, that wasn't the end.
No.
Of Uncharted 4: Thief's End.
This is when the tears started coming for Greg.
And in my opinion, they couldn't have ended it any better. Of course, you have the epilogue moment going back to the Crash Bandicoot Easter egg. Mm-hmm. You see the TV screen, and then it pans to the side, and you see this young girl with glasses.
I'm gonna start crying.
With a dog too. And we talked about this on the last show. And talked about how you really need to take your time with that final scene because the storytelling, the environmental storytelling, and the final chapter, the epilogue, is brilliant. How much you can take from the last 14 years of their life just from the house if you look around enough and you can piece their lives together and everything that happened, who Sully was to Cassie, who Sam was to Cassie, how Nate and well, first of all, it's not the house that they started in. That house that they started at the beginning, And the end one
they
is like
went
this
from the
tropical, beautiful location. They're on
Yeah.
the beach, like
with 2 houses. They have the architectural home with all
And then
the
store.
Yeah.
and then they have their normal house too. I loved the fact that when the camera pans around after Crash Bandicoot and you get to play as Cassie for the first time, it was the dog that Drake told Sully about all the way back in Madagascar.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He named them Vicky
I was
after
like,
Victor.
yes, dude. Like, it just did it so perfect. I fed that dog 17 biscuits out of that bowl. I said, I don't
Yep.
give a fuck. I fed him everything.
And not just that, Cassie being named after named Sam's mom.
Dude, it was just so perfect.
Just
And
little
she was-
touches like that. Going into the photo album that you looked at in the very beginning that had just wedding photos, but now it also had the birth of Cassie.
I thought that was cool because that would have been different for everyone depending which hat you decided to keep on in the mansion.
Oh, speaking of that, that was another example of Last of Us just bleeding into.
Yeah, for sure.
That was totally left behind. Putting on all
Yeah.
the helmets and
Riley,
whatnot. I was okay with
yeah.
that. I thought it was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was
but-
cool.
But yeah, like I just thought that all the little touches of them being on the beach and realizing like that Elaine and Drake were totally meant to be together. You know, that they had this great life
Yeah.
where they found a blend. They found that middle ground between dangerous like treasure hunting and boring life stamping papers.
Right.
My
You know, they
favorite
found
line
that
is when
middle
Elena says to him, like, we're going to the Malaysia job, whatever, and he's like, it's illegal. She's like, I got the permits, whatever.
My stomach.
Sorry about that. I heard a fart, but it turned out to be a stomach rumble.
No, I will let you know when it's a fart. You'll know when it's a fart.
What were you saying, Greg?
I just love the fact that Elena takes the coins at the end, and it's Sam that gives Elena the coins in her jacket at the end. I thought that's what made me fall in love with Sam at the end of the game, was the fact that like he was like, I fucked up your life, and now I'm gonna make it up to you by getting you guys what you need. Like I'm setting you off. And
Then he
does
goes
that-
off with Sully for
and then
what
we
we
get Sully too. I was just gonna say,
assume to
that's
be
my
maybe
favorite.
the DLC adventure that we're going to be getting.
So you think it's gonna be? Do you think it's gonna be the adventure between them, or you think it's gonna be something with Cassie, or you think?
I don't think it's going to be with Cassie, and this might seem like a
Nadine
weird
or
reason,
like-
but I don't think it's going to be with Cassie because that would require Naughty Dog to do entirely new animations for a different type of character model.
Sure, yeah.
If you do Sam and Sully, you've already got all the animations there ready
Right.
to go.
I kind of want it to be an adventure of Drake, Elena, and Cassie, and then like shit goes wrong and Cassie has to.
I
be
would
put
love
in
it.
the forefront.
I just don't think it's going to be that.
Or do you think? Yeah. Or do you think it's gonna be
How
a
old
different
is Sully
story
at
of
this
Nate's?
point then?
By this
Pretty
point,
old.
he's probably like.
So how is
Sully's
that
in a
going on any
fucking-
fucking adventures?
How does he
Yeah.
do
this
what
would
he does
be
in this game? I don't
This
know.
would be no. If it's Sully, it would have to be.
Immediately following.
It would
end
be
of-
the what's him and Sam go off on before it
Yeah.
jumps ahead to where they had the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do you think it'll be Nate? Just a different Nate?
I don't think
thing?
so. No, I think that they will
Or
try and
Nadine?
change
Maybe
it
they'll
up.
fill in something with Nadine.
I think-
Maybe
What the-
that it's a Sam and Sully adventure that somehow involves Nadine in the end. I don't know.
I think they have to use a character other than Nate because I think Nathan Drake's story is done, and they
Yes.
said they're not going to do an Uncharted for a while.
Yeah,
But
I
obviously, this
agree.
franchise isn't going anywhere, and I think the next main character is either going to be the adventures of Sam, Drake, and Sully. That's why they built him up so much in this game, or Cassie, which I would love if we got to play as Cassie, Cassandra Drake. That would be amazing.
If you play as Cassie, though, unless they are willing to age her up already, there's no way to really do that without Drake. I agree with you. I think Nate's done. Like,
No,
don't
I'm saying to,
touch
like-
him anymore.
I'm saying to like plant that seed for the future.
Creamy
I'm
Biscuits
saying, like-
brings up a good possibility. What about Chloe and Cutter? We didn't get them at all.
Oh,
That's true.
fuck that DLC. Fuck that
Yeah,
DLC.
well,
Hard
I
in
should have
the
expected
butthole.
that. Never mind. Sorry.
No.
God, you
Fuck
probably
that.
jizzed everywhere that Chloe wasn't in this game.
you got against
that
Cutter?
dirty bitch was still in this fucking game, leaving Drake little fucking love notes in his attic. Can't wait to see you soon, love. I got great job in store. Go fuck yourself, Chloe. I'm with my wife now. You're a dirty bitch. I hated that.
It's the
I
worst,
hated
man.
that.
What do you got against Cutter?
Cutter is a literal grunt. He doesn't mean shit.
You become way too invested in certain things.
Yeah,
the
because
worst.
look at what happened at the end. They had a daughter named Cassie, and she's everything I wanted her to be and more. This ending was my
Yeah, it was your perfect ending.
Naughty Dog.
I loved it too.
I loved it as well.
This was the best Uncharted game. Do we agree?
I think so. Yeah.
Greg?
Mm,
I know you're close on Uncharted 2, right?
I'm very close.
Yeah, I agree that
Technically-
it's close.
Technically, graphically, amazing. Beats all the other games by far on every other aspect. Story-wise, I'm not sure if it's my favorite.
There's just a few little things that bring
Yeah.
it very close to Uncharted 2 for me. Some of
Yeah.
those pacing moments,
Yeah.
the Mummy chapter, which was in that long stretch without combat, that I felt
Yeah.
like ruined
There's some
some of the
stuff in
pacing.
Uncharted 2 that I really hate too.
I agree, yeah.
when you first arrive in the tropical jungle and those fucking things come out, I hated that part, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When they first come out when you're with Tenzin, but when you're in like the jungle. I forget the actual country you're in.
Shambhala.
Yeah, with Elena and Chloe, and they first come out out of the fucking woodwork. I hate that part. I hated it.
That was.
I said this on the last show. It's amazing game, but those little touches for me bring it down to a 9.75. I'm sorry, like I can't give this game a perfect score. It's the best game of the generation so far. It's the best Uncharted, probably in my opinion. I need to sit on it a little bit, but I wouldn't give it a 10 just because there's a few things that did bother me in the game.
It's not even close. It's not close for me. This is my favorite Uncharted for sure. I would give it a 10 because I think people are a little too stingy with 10s, honestly.
Okay.
And this is a fucking
no problem.
This is a fucking great. It's just such a great game.
I would give The Last of Us a 10.
Yeah,
I think The Last of Us is a little bit better than this game. That's my opinion.
I think The Last of Us is a little bit better as well, but I don't think. I mean, I think there are other 10s too that are not near Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to compare because they're different. Yeah. It's just hard. I mean,
I'm saying that I literally think The Last of Us is a perfect game on the first playthrough. I think it's a perfect
There are things
game.
you can find wrong with it.
In my opinion, I found nothing wrong with that game. I thought it was perfect.
I could show you things.
Okay.
There's definitely things like. That's the thing. There's always something. That's what I mean. It's like when anyone says like when they give out 10s, like nothing is perfect. Yeah. Like, there's always gonna be things that get in the way. So if you're gonna,
I guess what I'm saying is there was no moment playing The Last of Us where I was like, this is not as good as this, or this is flawed. But in Uncharted 4, there were moments where I was like, this is a little flawed.
See, I found that in The Last of Us, though.
Yeah, there are definitely moments in that game where I was like, I could have done without this.
Okay. Like when I'm with Ellie.
Difference of opinion then.
People and Ellie's running around cover and all the guys are directly looking at Ellie. I'm like, oh, well, that's.
Well, you get that in this game too. That's just a matter of if they were to allow enemies to see the AI characters, it would break the game.
Oh, 100%.
Because you would be caught every other minute.
Uncharted 4, I never had that.
I got that tons of times with Sam and Elena and stuff.
Every single time my AI were with me, they were taking people out that I marked.
Oh, I did like that, but there was a difference there. Ellie was not supposed to be that kind of character.
Yeah.
But I did definitely have moments in Uncharted 4 where the AI should have been seen and weren't.
I got lucky on that.
I guess you guys catch that little Easter egg with the poster.
Yeah.
The Savage Starlight?
Yeah.
2 poster? Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they were both 10s. I don't know, honestly. I like Uncharted. I think I've said this before too. Maybe on the PlayStation
It's more your
podcast.
kind of game, right?
The Last of Us, I think, is a better game. Uncharted 4 is more my kind of game.
Completely understand, yeah.
And I would give them both 10s, and I think this is the best Uncharted.
Greg, your final review. What's your score on Uncharted 4?
Guitar Freak says, so Greg, is it official that you're not going to blow up Square Enix? It was Naughty Dog that made Uncharted, just so you know. And I'm not blowing up the studio because they ended the series perfectly. But I will rank, if I had to rank the titles right now, it would be, I want to play through 4 again, but if I had to do it now, it would be 2, 4, 3, 1 is how I would rank the games.
Okay.
2 is still above it for me.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I think you need to go back maybe and play 2 again, though.
I have. I did the Nathan Drake collection.
Okay. Because I going back and playing 2 recently, I think it definitely shows how Uncharted 4 is better, but Uncharted 2 has some problems.
It does.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think all the problems in the game are technical. I'm talking about strictly.
No, I disagree. I don't think the problems are technical in Uncharted 2.
What are your problems with Uncharted 2?
I thought a lot of pacing issues in my opinion in Uncharted 2. But also I just felt like the combat becomes, as it did in all the other Uncharted games, it becomes monotonous. Uncharted 4 perfected the combat and made it so that I never felt bored.
Yeah, I agree. That said, Uncharted 2 is still like high 9.
At that time, Uncharted 2 was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that looking back on it now, knowing now what Uncharted 4 is, I think that it's a better game.
And it should be said that we're comparing them just cause. It's almost unfair to do so because of what Andrew just said.
It's a difference
of its time.
Yeah, like if Uncharted 2 were to come out now, obviously Uncharted 4 is better.
Yeah.
But if you take them both at their respective time periods, then it becomes... That's why I was saying earlier that I think Uncharted 4 is just a tad better, because you have to look at the times. The times dictate the how you feel about these games.
Yeah.
So.
I think Uncharted 2 is so overwhelmingly amazing for me just because it came after Uncharted 1 and I didn't expect it.
Yeah,
and
I can understand that.
And then the game made me cry at the end of it, which this game did too. I don't know. I have to play Uncharted 4 again. I might change my ranking, but right now 2 is 1 for me.
You gotta take it all in. It's a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Any final comments before we close off the spoiler discussion and
I
review?
have said my piece.
Me too. Greg, how about you?
I love this series, and I don't want to cry.
Sad to
but
see it over.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss it.
Miss these characters so goddamn much, dude. And that was my one gripe with the game is I really wanted to spend more time with Sully and Elena. And that's coming from me who wanted Sully to die in 3. And the amount of time I got to spend with him, it didn't feel like enough.
I really liked that in the end. It kind of felt like it was about generations and family.
Yeah.
And you know, how he was passing the torch in some ways to Cassie, finally saying, okay, she's ready to hear about all these things. And it just ends with him telling the story and Elena putting the photo album away. It made it feel like, you know, Fast and Furious, they always say, oh, it's about the family. Like, that's kind of how I felt at the end of Uncharted 4. It's about the family. It's about
when
the
Elena gives that look when Cassie's like, so Dad, there were pirates? And Elena just looks at them from off the porch. I'm like, this is the best game ever.
It's a great ending. Great closure.
It was the best.
And I think we're going to end the show on that. We'll do our quick thank yous here. Let's give a special thanks out to many subscribers and patrons and whatnot. First up, our subscribers, our donators. GameKiller305, Ebenezer Giza, Henry DJP, Tobes29340, Mahogany327, YT Gamers, Johnny Poolside, Your Average Psych, DragonCon9, and our top donator is still Tyspin. We did have 2 donations tonight. Thank you to Henry DJP and Tobes for your donations. Really appreciate those. Our subscribers, the 9 Fox, Greg Verga, Johnny Poolside, DeLone Gunman, the Level Up host Drew, Bass023S, Tobes29340, Vatak, GameKiller305, Difficulty Level Noob, Your Average Psych, Guitar Freak 12345, Tyspin, YT Gamers, X Hellchild, X, Girl That Games, and Kelly Jellyfish. We have our patrons who are Pussfilled Scab, Mr. Rager909, Tyspin, BMC Music, TX Puck, DragonCon, Blakey1888, Mark Conklin, Alex Bustos98, Lionhammer, Tobes29340, Ginkgo Swag, Dan Pihush, Tempest Moriendi, and Kelly Jellyfish. Oh, and Chris Taylor and Girl at Games just became patrons last week. Thank you so much. And finally, our moderators, Pussfilled Scab, The 9 Fox, TX Puck, GFN2112, Ghost Games, and Guitar Freak 12345. We appreciate every single one of you. You're all amazing. And our follows tonight came from Poncho, Tommy Blades, Dion Troy J, Falcor Rises, Ricky Gas, and Iced Tequila. Thank you so much,
Thank you for the follows too on Instagram from Corey, Megan, and I think that's Sam.
Cool.
So thank you guys. You can follow us on Instagram too. We have Instagram posts.
That's going to wrap it up for us tonight, guys. We'll be on all week long with gaming talk shows and game streams. Greg, do you think you'll be on tomorrow with Inday?
Yes, I will be there.
Greg will be on tomorrow with Inday, guys. Mike's on Tuesday with Trash Talk.
I think I fixed it. Drew taught me how to fix what happened because the same thing happened to him.
Okay. Mike will be on Tuesday with Trash Talk Tuesday. Thursday this week is 3rd episode of the Lights Up show. That is our film and TV discussion show with myself and Greg. And then, of course, Sunday is the Level Up show. So we'll see you all then. Until next time, take care. And as always, don't forget to level up. And that's why the Uncharted 4 discussion was not during Antonio's PlayStation. Do you feel like you know the entire game now?
I really wasn't listening.
Yeah, I know you weren't listening too closely. That was not even good, I needed another chance at that. That was not good. That was sloppy. I rate that a 5.
Bad.
That was a bad high 5 right there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Catch you next time. Take care.
Love you all.
Level up. Hey, Level Uppers. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to check out our other content, please do.
Like your favorite superhero podcast, Power Up, right here.
Or for everything PlayStation. It only does PlayStation right there.
For movies, television, and Netflix, check out the Lights Up show down this way.
And for the latest episode of our gaming talk show, The Level Up Show, go right there. But most importantly, please don't forget to subscribe right there.
Nailed it.
We did it.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
that was good.
Which one do you think they'll click on?
I think Level Up Show, obviously.
Hopefully, all of them.
It only does
Yeah,
PlayStation.
I would like if they watched them all, I think.
Lights Up is new, though. I think they should definitely check that out.
Lights Up's a new one. Power Up's always a new
About
one.
7-8 seconds now.
Yeah.
We're
Well, you think they've clicked on something?
we're still here, so no.
I think they should.
We should
Did
give
you
them a little
did
bit
you
more.
click on something?
Click on something, guys.
We need to go.
The hell are you?
I'm going to give it
waiting
3
for?
seconds.
Watch
We have
all
things
of
to
that.
do.
3,
Just click.
Stare him
Two.
down. Stare him down until they do it.
1.
Ah!